Good evening, Irish fans, and welcome to this evening's Notre Dame football Saturday night watch party. Tonight, we take a look back at the 2018 season opening game in Notre Dame Stadium against Michigan. Now, we took the feedback many of you sent us last week into account, and we will stream the entire game tonight with announcer and crowd sound, but we will also be joined by two of the key players in that game for analysis throughout tonight's video stream. Wide receiver Chris Finke, now a member of the San Francisco 49ers, and defensive end Khalid Kareem, who was selected in the 5th round of this year's NFL draft by the Cincinnati Bengals. Gentlemen, welcome to tonight's Game Watch.
Thanks, Jack. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Jack. Nice to be here with Khalid.
And it's great to be here with you guys. Now, before we get to the game, how are you dealing with all the restrictions and repercussions of COVID-19 while you're still getting ready for your first seasons in the NFL?
Good, you want to go first? Oh, I'll go. All right. I've been in Dayton, Ohio with my family for the last few weeks. I came back from Texas where I had been training so I could be with them during the draft. So I've just been working out from here, backyard, driveway, garage type stuff. I'm actually going back down to Texas so I can get some better workouts in down there, some one-on-one stuff with my trainer. And then normally we'd be having a rookie minicamp and OTAs right now, but obviously we can't do that. So basically just been in a lot of Zoom meetings trying to learn the playbook and, get acclimated to the team and all their systems and everything. So just been doing it all remotely. I'm sure Lid's had a pretty similar experience, but you can go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, like Chris said, a lot of garage workouts. Just trying to get any type of work I can. All of our communication with the team's been through Zoom. We started, I think, last Friday with our rookie minicamp. Now the rookies are with the veteran players, so we're doing our meetings now with the whole team. But I mean, it's a good amount of restrictions being put on us. I mean, Michigan is a little bit more strict right now, so you really can't do much. And so, I mean, I try to get out on the field as much as possible, but usually if police see you, they want you to get off the field. And so, I mean, that kind of hurts my training. But I actually just came down to Georgia to get a little bit more work since they're open. I have a D-line coach down here I go to.
Now, Khalid, you really took one for the team last year, and the fans didn't find out about it till after the season, but you played your last 4 games with a torn labrum in your left shoulder. How is that rehab coming for you right now?
It's going great. I had the surgery January 21st. I'm about 80% right now. So I'll be ready come training camp this fall.
All right, guys, Michigan 2018, the first game of the year, a lot of hype. It was an Irish wear green night, so in honor of that, I'm wearing my green Under Armour polo shirt here. Beginning with you, Chris, what are your memories of the build-up to that game?
Oh, man, there was so much hype going into this game for the whole team, and also for me just personally. This was the first time I was going to have a bigger role than I had ever had. So, first game of the season. So, I was really excited leading up to it, but 2 ranked teams. I think we were ranked higher. I think Michigan was actually favored in the game, and it was college game day was there. So we had our morning walkthrough, and there was everybody out on the lawn outside of the Hesburgh Library. You just feel the hype. You look at the stadium on your way there. You're like, I can't believe it's going to go down there tonight. But yeah, I mean, it was really, really exciting. The crowd was packed and they were loud and they were all in their green. I kind of wish we were in green when we say Irish wear green, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I mean, it was very, very, very exciting.
Clint, how about you? What do you remember?
So this was kind of a personal game for me, being a kid from Michigan. Opportunity to play against them. But also this is my first college start, so this is kind of like my coming out party a little bit. Had a lot of people from back home. Some of my friends actually who go to Michigan were all kind of not really rooting against me, but rooting for Michigan. They obviously wanted to see me succeed, but wanted to see Michigan win. So I had a lot of talk from family and friends back home about this game, and so I just wanted to go out there and make a statement.
Well, you both had terrific games against the Wolverines. The Irish jumped out quickly in offense. You went up 21-3 with the help of you, Chris. You had 3 catches for 55 yards, including a 43-yard touchdown reception that made it 14-0. We'll certainly break that down. And Khalid, as you know, the defense was solid, more than solid, outstanding for 60 minutes. You had a great game, 8 tackles, second to Tavon Coney's 10, 6 solo tackles, a sack, 1.5 tackles for loss, and a quarterback hurry. So, folks, if you're wondering why these 2 guys are on this game watch, that is why. So let's get to the start of the game and what turned out to be an undefeated regular season for the Irish. Here's NBC's Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, and Catherine Tappan.
Wish you were here. You're in the next best place. Tony Jones Jr., the running back, and Jafar Armstrong, 6 and 8. Back deep to receive. The kickoff will come from Jake Moody. Last time he played a football game, he was a Northville Mustang, 20 minutes away from Ann Arbor. And he's going to start this 2018 season. Freshman, now the kickoff man for Michigan. A lot of good games today. A lot of great matchups the opening weekend. As Mr. Harbaugh likes to say, where would you rather be than right here, right now? Because nobody's got it better than us. Off we go with a touchback, and Michigan's defense will come on the field to take on the Irish from the 25-yard line. So we've hit on Brandon Wimbush here a couple of times. The New Jersey native, the positive third Notre Dame quarterback, over 500 yards rushing and 1,000 yards passing in the same season. Did it last year. Where does he have to improve? Completion percentage was 49.5. That's got to be better.
Yeah, they say he's going through his progressions better. He's working on the short passing game. He's always thrown a nice deep ball, though. He spins the ball well. He's got a strong arm. He can make all the throws. Consistency.
Jafar Armstrong will start at running back. He's never carried in college football. This is his first action. Notre Dame loads up with a couple of tight ends here to start. Armstrong will run inside. Welcome to the Michigan defense. Khalid Hudson, number 7, who's one of their big ticket items in there, along with Josh Metellus on the very first play. Here's Wimbush, a very personable young man. He's a terrific runner. Will his running be the difference for Notre Dame from the quarterback spot? Here's his first throw of the season. He is flushed by Winovich, puts it up for Claypool, and it is incomplete. It was a 50-50 jump ball. Tyreek Cannell, the very good safety, and Lavert Hill were back there on the cover.
Claypool does a great job of going up after this. He had a window of opportunity, but the ball couldn't be lasered in. Claypool coming back to the ball, avoids the interception, and almost comes up with the catch. Hill had his hands on the ball and was in perfect position.
They gave you the wrong safety. Metellus, 14, was over there. These Michigan corners, we'll introduce you to them as we go forward. They're terrific. 3rd and 10. Claypool wants to know what's going on. There he goes. The motion starts. Michigan runs 4. Free runner there. Claypool's got it. First down Irish to the 40. Gain of 15 for Chase Claypool, the 6'4" junior from British Columbia, Canada.
Chase Winovich coming off the edge. Pressure on the quarterback. Nice job by Wimbush giving ground and putting the ball with touch to Claypool, who was wide open on the under route. Turned loose.
From the 41, Wimbush going up top again. Miles Boykin, the receiver, caught it. Flag down.
Okay, Chris Finke, you're the receiver in this group. Take us through that play.
Yeah, early in the game, wanted to set the tone. Coach Alexander told us, we got to come out firing. Miles did a great job for us here. Obviously, he's beating Lavert Hill, who's a really good ball player, and getting the pass interference. So that just set the tone, that we were there to play. And we always kind of poke fun at Miles in the receiver room for falling down on his catches. You'll see it here. If he keeps his feet there, it's probably a touchdown. But still, really, really good play. Got the drive going, got us started, set the tone.
Khalid, you guys are on the sideline with the defense. You haven't been on the field yet, but how important is it for the defense to see the offense have this early success?
I mean, that's huge. We love to see our guys go out there, make plays, but especially when they're big explosive plays, that gives us juice, gives us momentum when we go on the field that, you know, our guys on offense, they're doing their job. So, you know, let's step up and keep the ball rolling.
And for both units, let's be honest, the hype leading into this game, what we heard over and over again, was how good the Michigan defense was. So how important was it that you guys were able to get off to such a great start on offense and prove that you could move the ball against them?
You know, it was as important as it is in any other game, I guess. You know, everybody can talk about whatever they want. It didn't really mean anything until you're on the field. So our goal is always to get out there and move the ball on anybody. So, you know, whatever people had written or said didn't matter when you put the ball down, line up across from somebody.
Khalid, did it power you guys on defense too, to see that the offense could move them and that you could do the same thing on defense?
Most definitely. And I feel like with a lot of talks about how great of a defense Michigan was, we wanted to go out there and show that we're even a better group of guys. Wanted to prove a point.
All right. The Irish are rolling, folks. Let's get back to the game.
Touchdown, Notre Dame! Jafar Armstrong for the first time.
Alex Bars at left guard makes the key block. There's a great read by Ian Book to give the ball. Watch Bars at left guard. Pushes his man to the outside, north-south crease. He's in the end zone all the way. Makes one cut just for fun. He could have gone straight ahead if he wanted to. Great job by the left side of the offensive line, which is entirely new for this year on the left.
Pretty impressive. Justin Yoon, fabulous kicker for Notre Dame, the senior, able to add the extra point. A lot of new players going up against an elite defense with a lot of their key players returning. And in a minute, 25 seconds, it feels like 2017 in Notre Dame Stadium. Armstrong, receiver by trade, getting this experience as a running back for the first time, and what a way to start. Well, we talked about it a moment ago, 11 national titles each between these two legendary programs. Michigan #1 all-time in wins. Notre Dame now 6th after 20 wins were vacated. We'll talk about that later on. Win percentage very high. You can whistle the victors. You can hum the victory march. 43rd meeting, 24 of them won by Michigan. Last time they played it was here. It was 31-0. Jim Harbaugh, when he got the Michigan job, now season 4 for Jim, wanted to get this series back on the schedule. So too did Brian Kelly. Scheduling's a little tougher now than it used to be, but they got it on for this year and next year on an October day or night in Ann Arbor. Not on the schedule after that, but so great to see these two legendary programs back together. Notre Dame's kicker is Justin Dorr. Ambry Thomas is back deep to receive for the Wolverines. Jonathan Dorr, I should say, the sophomore from Charlotte, will take the kicking duties for the Irish. He kicked it out of bounds, so the ball will come out to the 35-yard line. They were counting on Dorr all year to be a good kickoff man. Didn't do it there. Here we go. Huddle. So here comes Shea Patterson. This young man grew up in Toledo, Ohio, as a youngster before moving down south to Louisiana. When he was in Toledo early on, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, parents had season tickets to Michigan football games, went with his dad, dreamed one day of being the Wolverine quarterback. He played 2 years at Ole Miss, eligible to transfer without sitting out a year. And now here he is living the dream. Wolverine quarterback. Drive starts the 35. Patterson gives Karan Higdon, nearly 1,000-yard rusher last year. Gain 7. Tavon Coney on the tackle. The Michigan offense, it's a big mystery. How different will it look because of his skill set?
It's already different. A zone read play on the first play from scrimmage from shotgun.
He ran exclusively shotgun at Ole Miss, except for the downs where they were just taking a knee. Inside give for Higdon there. That's Alohi Gilman, the safety for Notre Dame, who started his career at Navy, sat out a year as a transfer last year, making his Irish debut tonight.
Coming from depth and slashing off the edge, closes down from the backside. Can't account for that guy. Gilman making the play in the backfield.
3rd and inches. possess it right to the 45-yard line. Higdon does that as he's out to the 48-yard line before Osmar Bilal makes the tackle, the rover for the Irish. So Michigan gets a first down on its opening drive.
But we are seeing full-time shotgun, which is what Shea Patterson is used to from his Ole Miss days. 20-something% for Michigan last year out of gun. This year it looks like they're going high percentage.
Yeah, around a quarter of the Michigan snaps on first and second down last year was out of the shotgun. Patterson operated exclusively out of the shotgun for the Rebels. From the 49, Patterson picks it up, throws it to Nico Collins. Hearing a lot about this young receiver for the Wolverines. Takes it into Irish territory to the 42. Jalen Elliott made the tackle. If you follow Michigan closely, you know they lost Tariq Black to a foot injury in preseason. He was going to be counted on to be one of their top receivers. Collins, who only caught 3 balls last year, sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama, has had a fabulous camp from all word out of Ann Arbor. 2nd and 2. Higdon to the left. Good first hit. He's taken out of bounds. Julian Love, the Notre Dame cornerback, started it. The safety Gilman finished it.
Julian Love came flying up for containment and took a shoulder from Gilman, and Gilman kept running, but he did make the play, slow it down, and help came along. Gilman is a tough runner. Evans, when he gets in, is a little more of a slasher and catching the ball out of the backfield.
And Michigan will run it inside. It's not going anywhere.
All right, Khalid, take us through the play and talk a little bit about how Jerry Tillery evolved during his senior season.
Oh, wow. I mean, Jerry played some great ball for us. He really stepped up when we needed him, especially Stanford had 4 sacks against them. But especially right here, he was a huge force for us up the middle. I mean, Caesar, who's a first-round draft pick to the Saints, Jerry did a great job of knocking him back, getting pressure, then stopping him on 3rd and short. So that was a good play by him.
Now, Chris, clearly the offense grabbed the momentum early in the game, defense riding on that. But how did the defense's ability to come out and stop Michigan right away help the offense on that next drive?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you can stack success on the field, it's going to help a lot. So we come out and score, and then defense comes right back out and gets us the ball again. We're rolling from there. So there's no looking back.
We'll be back in just a few moments because Chris is going to make a somewhat big play on this drive.
There was a lot of black and red. Folks thought there'd be a bunch of maize and blue. It's a lot of green in Notre Dame Stadium tonight. Second drive for the Irish from the 4. Wimbush is back in. After the poke to the eye, he'll gain just over a yard. That Michigan defense stout inside to slow him down.
And we may see a little bit more of that tonight than usual with Wimbush carrying the football on design quarterback runs. It allows you to block everyone up front and get a hat on a hat and allow him to use his legs, which gets him into the rhythm of a game.
And you saw there's zero fear. It happened because of injury, but they are not worried about Ian Book coming in at quarterback. Armstrong running to his right and nowhere to go. This Michigan defense last year allowed 121 yards per game. They were one of the top 20 run defenses because of that guy in part, Rashawn Gary.
Gary right here. Watch him work laterally, fighting off the block, using his hands, and then runs to the spot. Great first step at the line of scrimmage. Powerful, accelerates. He can be inside or outside, could be a pass rusher.
You're not going to block him with a tight end.
No.
Alize Mack was there. Ain't going to work. 3rd and 9. Wimbush going up top, and it is caught by Mack, who took a hit to the head as well. Mack with the catch. Athletic training staff saw right away that he took that hit to the head, and they immediately came out to him. Josh Metellus was the one who came over. And the concern for Mack with the kind of hit he took with the forearm, it appeared, to the helmet.
Defense number 14. Penalty is 15 yards. The play is under review.
So the targeting, we have Terry McCauley who's with us on our Sunday night NFL telecast as well. 17-year referee in the NFL, joining us on our Notre Dame games as well. Terry, what are we looking for here as they look at this?
Yeah, Okay, yeah, you're looking to see if he's leading with the shoulder, forearm, helmet to head to a defensive receiver, which he clearly is. Looks like a shoulder right to the head. This is going to stand, and that player's going to be disqualified for the rest of the game.
Josh Metellus, the starting safety. 12 starts at the safety position, a key part of this defense. And those of you getting familiar with the NFL, the college rules, it is that shoulder area as well in the targeting that they look for. As Mack remains down, he's sitting up and being talked to by the Notre Dame athletic training staff.
He's up.
He wanted to get up right away, but because it happened right in front of that Notre Dame bench, they were able to get to him. It's so great to have Terry with us on our broadcast of Notre Dame football this year, not just his NFL years, including being the referee in 3 Super Bowls, but the coordinator for officials in the Big East and the American Conference for a decade. So Terry has been a part of the college football rules experience as well during this time. So he's an invaluable resource to us on these Notre Dame broadcasts.
And in his rookie year in the NFL, I put him in a very compromising position.
He did. Yes, he did.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that, if not tonight, later in the season. But this is huge for Michigan. Metellus is one of their key players back there with Tyree Cannell at the safeties, Lavert Hill and David Long. That's a secondary that returned intact, and the conversation now is with that targeting call on the field, will they uphold it, or will Metellus be thrown out? And will Metellus be thrown out of the game? Terry, why do you think it's taken a while here?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, you have to have an indicator, which would be leading with the shoulder in this case, and you have to see forcible contact to the head, neck, and area. There we go.
And really the targeting confirmed.
Not sure why it took so long. I mean, when you're going to disqualify somebody, you really want to make sure that it's there, and they did on this play.
So a huge blow here for the Wolverines. You saw Mack go to the 10th, and that's the primary concern, is taking a shot like that he's okay. But Jim Harbaugh now down one of his big pieces in the secondary. Brad Hawkins, a sophomore from New Jersey, has come in. And incredibly, with that hit, Mack still held on to the ball. So Notre Dame picks up at the 46. Armstrong is hit hard after the gain of 2 by Devin Bush Jr., preseason first-team All-America, the first of many times we'll call 10 tonight.
Very athletic linebacker. He'll get in some matchups with the backs in coverage. He may be spying Wimbush throughout the night in running situations. He is an active linebacker.
Officially a gain of 2. 6.5 gone by in what has been an action-packed opening quarter. Michigan scoring, or Notre Dame I should say, scoring on its opening drive just a minute and 25 in. A Jafar Armstrong touchdown run. Near midfield, Wimbush throws. It's caught by Armstrong, but you see Bush again. And what makes him so good, that speed. He was right there to limit the gain to 2. So we've already talked about Rashawn Gary a little bit. He was the top recruit in the nation. That was one of the top D linemen. We've seen Winovich on the other side as well. Bush is one of 3 linebackers. He and Khalik Hudson are going to make the most plays back there. So the returning corners are there in Hill and Long, but Metellus, that starter being out, will absolutely impact this defense for the Wolverines. And playing on the back end, Cannell is the high safety alone right now on 3rd and 6 as Wimbush escapes. Sometimes a good defense can't stop a running quarterback. First down Notre Dame, Wimbush at the 43-yard line.
Great pressure coming up on the outside on the edge to force Wimbush to step up. He has man coverage downfield, but he'll step up under it. Now in man coverage, everyone's back is turned. He's got an area to take off and run. He'll make plays. If he can get out of the pocket and get loose, people are going to have their backs turned, and he has opportunities for big plays with his legs.
Irish have picked up all 3 first down opportunities, and from the 43, Wimbush looking deep. Chris Finke down there. Finke, did he catch it? Yes! Touchdown Irish! Incredible grab! He mossed him. He took it away from the defensive back.
Chris, this is one of the marquee plays of the 2018 season. Break down that touchdown catch for us.
Yeah, so we had this play in for a long time, running it a bunch during camp, talking about how we're going to run it when we get in the first game. And we actually had it called earlier in the game, and we didn't have the right look for it. And I was just praying that we would check out of it so we wouldn't waste the route. And we did. So then we finally called it again, had the right look. And I mean, you'll see it here. Just a good look for it. Brandon threw the ball up. the only thing in my mind is I got to go get it. So that was definitely a fun one.
Now, Matt, Claypool, Boykin had all already made tough catches in this game. But I thought with this catch, you really solidified the Notre Dame receiving culture for the 2018 season, which I thought was every receiver really fighting for and going to get every ball thrown in their direction throughout the season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something that Coach Alexander talked about in the room. 50-50 balls can't be 50-50 balls. We got to get them more than half the time. So, just because I'm not 6'4" and 220, it doesn't mean that doesn't apply to me. So one goes up, I'm going to try to go get it. It's everything I got. So, like you said, all the other guys had already made big plays like that, and I was just trying to get it on the fun.
Brandon Wimbush, the starter in this game, really quality guy, good leader. He took a lot of heat for his passing during his career, but in this game he completed 5 of his first 7 passes to help the offense get into that great rhythm. Talk a little bit about what it was like to play with Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing with Brandon. We were roommates for the last 2 years of the time we shared in college, and really good friends. And we just had a good connection out there on the field. And he had a great game. Not just throwing the ball, but with his legs as well. And I think that we don't win this game without Brandon. I think he had an incredible game, and I think the world of him. So. He's just a great guy, and I love playing ball with him.
And Khalid, he had a very physical game, ran the ball very well, put his shoulder down a number of times. What's it do for a defense when the quarterback's not only having success, but he's showing that kind of toughness?
Oh, I mean, you love when a guy, especially your quarterback, who's lowering his shoulder, just playing physical. And so, we just look at that, and that kind of gets us riled up on the sideline. We're ready to go. If he's doing that, we got to go out there and do even more.
All right, as we return to the game, the Irish have a 14-0 lead, but Michigan is putting together a pretty decent drive on its second possession.
I didn't see a flag thrown, but the call corrected. All evens out in the math. So the Wolverines taking over at their own 27 for the second drive for Shea Patterson. Back under center. He'll hand it on the turn. Donovan Peoples-Jones, good receiver last year for Michigan, takes it to the 34-yard line.
So in the second series of the game, now you see multiple tight ends, standard sets. They run the jet sweep out of it, but he was under center.
Trying to read the tea leaves to look like a little more multiplicity. Line up with tight ends, but also do this. Empty and 5 wide. Didn't see a lot of this from the Wolverines last year. But you will with Patterson. It fits his skill set as Peoples-Jones extends for the first down, right at the marker at the 38-yard line. See, might just be a little bit shy. This Michigan offense, in addition to Patterson, Deron Higdon almost 1,000 yards with 2 backs. We've heard from Peoples-Jones here. Watch their receiving corps in terms of the tight ends as well. That's John Runyon, the NFL star's son. John Runyon Jr., another Michigan man. He mans the left tackle spot on an O-line which struggled last year. They are effusive in the praise of the center, Cesar Ruiz. Think he's going to be very good. Patterson on the boot and on the run. He looks so comfortable doing that. To Peoples-Jones at the 45. It's second and a long 3 coming up for the Wolverines.
So natural throwing the ball on the move, and that's what I saw him in pregame, just bouncing around, throwing from different arm angles, and the quick rhythm passing. He threw the quick hitch on the play before. Ball's out on time. He's very accurate with the football, and he can drop the arm down at different angles. He's fun to watch for me.
So he played his freshman year when Chad Kelly was injured at Ole Miss. Then played 7 games to start the season last year in the SEC. Got injured and didn't finish, and then the transfer. Play action. Couple receivers deep. Taking a shot for Nico Collins. Not close. Julian Love really running with him. Step by step. Why don't we get into this deal with Shea Patterson? Why do you transfer and you're able to play right away? Well, in his recruitment, it was ruled that he was misled the severity of the wrongdoing in Ole Miss. So, after a lot of NCAA wrangling back and forth, he was able to transfer, go to Michigan, went through spring ball not knowing if he would be cleared. Finally, they changed the procedure within the NCAA. The ruling came down. Ole Miss did not stand in the way, so he was able to be eligible right away. Found out after spring ball, although he participated in the spring, and was named the starter a couple of weeks ago by Jim Harbaugh. 3rd and 4. Patterson throws complete to Zach Gentry, the tight end, with the first down. The Irish side at the 48-yard line.
And this is what his forte, quick rhythm passing, set your feet and turn it loose. Just got a quick little out route by the tight end, bam. Right on the numbers, put it on his outside shoulder, away from the defender, great ball placement, and Gentry's a big, big target.
Notre Dame brought an extra rusher and a good job by Karan Higdon to pick up the pressure. Higdon is next to Patterson now. The 48, quickly out. Oliver Martin gets his first look of the night to the 42-yard line. Oliver Martin, a sophomore from Iowa, was the top high school player in that state when he was recruited by Jim Harbaugh. A little young talent. This is now Harbaugh's team. Most of the guys he recruited are the players who make up the core of this Michigan team. Year 4 for Jim. 2nd and 3. Patterson on the run. I love the way he does. He's so comfortable doing that. Grant Perry at the 29. First down. Wolverines on the march here.
He's your shortstop, charging the ball on the ground and throwing it sidearm over to first. He gets outside. The corner route's going to be wide open, and as he gets outside, he's just relaxed. He's got pursuit, but it doesn't bother him. It doesn't faze him. He can drop down the arm and throw it sidearm.
So Notre Dame's coverage has to be tight if he's going to get it out quick. The 29 gives it to Higdon, and Higdon will take it for 4 yards to the 25-yard line. So this Notre Dame defense, Doug, they're good up front. They've got 8 guys that they like in that defensive line. A couple of linebackers they like, not much depth. Tavon Coney and Drew Tranquil, 4 and 23, need to be big for the Irish this year.
They have to stay healthy. The backups are very, very inexperienced. Those 2 in the middle linebacker are key to this defense.
Again, Michigan goes empty. No back. Notre Dame shows heat. They bring 5. Patterson hit as he threw it. It's a jump ball, and it's incomplete. Dalen Hayes got through, got to Patterson. Hayes went to high school for 1 year in Ann Arbor at Skyline High School. With the pressure, Gilman almost had the pick.
Dalen Hayes coming free off the edge. They're bringing more than they can block. Coming off the edge. Doesn't see him, gets hit, ball in there, becomes a jump ball. Hayes has had 3 pressures already. Coney has had 1. His defense is getting after the Michigan offensive line.
From here, a field goal will be 42 at 43 yards. Michigan needs 6 to get a first down. Irish show pressure. They bring 4. Patterson is flush. He's in trouble. He is sacked out of field goal range at the 40. Khalid.
Huge play, Khalid. So step into the analyst role here and tell us how 53 made that play.
So I don't make this play without Julian. So this is a game we set up. We've been running it since camp. It was for Julian to really pick the guard. So I was supposed to sell it a little bit more, definitely help him get through for the pressure. But it was open, so I took it. But I feel like this is a pretty big play for us. They were in field goal range for this play, but then after the sack, took them out of field goal range, forced them to punt the ball. So this is a huge momentum shift for our team.
Right, whenever you sack somebody, I know your heart's pumping, it's a huge deal. You mentioned, though, being from Detroit, growing up in Michigan country, I mean, was your heart about to come out of your chest after that play?
Honestly, I've never celebrated longer than that ever in my life. I was just running around, didn't know what I was doing. It was a point where I was celebrating so much, I didn't realize it was 4th down. I needed to get off the field. So I looked to the sideline. Everyone was like, get off the field because they're about to punt the ball. So then I had to hurry up and get off. And then the celebration kept going on the sideline.
Chris, with the culture of toughness that the receiving corps had that season, how did you guys react to the way the defense was playing physically in this game?
I mean, watching our defense play is one of the most motivating things that I've experienced. You know, just watching a unit that, you know, I really have nothing to do with other than going against them at practice. You know, watching them execute their plan, watching them fly around and make big plays and knowing that we're all doing it for the same goal. I don't know, there's something about it that makes you feel good, makes you want to do your job even more. So when you see Lid get a big sack like that, then I get to go back there for punt return instead of watch them kick a field goal. I mean, that's one of the best things that can happen.
All right, folks, the Irish have the ball now. There's plenty more to come from the Irish defense in this game, a defense that would end up with 3 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. So let's hand it back now to the NBC crew led by Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, and Catherine Tappan.
Of the 11 players, so they were good. They had a lot of confidence coming in, but it took a little shot here early on. That's a bad pass because Cole Kmet had a dive to save it instead of a catch and a run. And now it's going to be 3rd down. And Doug, this is a defense that is so good on 3rd down.
Best in the country last year on 3rd down. Pressures, guys that can beat you one-on-one with pass rush when they know you're throwing the football. Gary and Winovich off the edge, 15-3.
I love what Don Brown told us. We give you nothing easy. We can test every throw. His mentality is aggressiveness. And sometimes if you're too aggressive, overcoming with speed. They play hard, they play fast. Here comes Winovich and Gary. They hit each other. Over the middle, it's incomplete for Boykin. And it will be 4th down. Those two guys were buzzing off the edge and knocked each other down.
Both of them turn the corner and a little step up by Wimbush. Here comes Gary on this side. He lowers that shoulder and dips around as Winovich is doing the same on the opposite side. Beautiful little step up by Wimbush. Here again, this is his move, man. Tuck that shoulder underneath and get there. That was a tight corner, and he got there. And Wimbush did a nice job of stepping up, but didn't come up with the throw.
Very good pocket presence. Tyler Newsome is a captain for the Irish. Different punt formation this year for Notre Dame. As Newsome kicks it away, Donovan Peoples-Jones says, "Get away," because it is a rare bad kick that Notre Dame touches at the 40-yard line. That'll be the spot. It's just a 24-yard punt for the graduate student, the captain, and great field position for Michigan. It's good to hear Doc Emmerich's voice. He'll be here 4 months from today when the Blackhawks and the Bruins meet on New Year's Day. And that'll be 5 years to the day after the only other Winter Classic on a college campus back in Ann Arbor. And the Maple Leafs and the Red Wings played. Look forward to that on NBC. From the 41, here comes Michigan with a run with Karan Higdon. And he'll get about 3 yards. Tavon Coney with the tackle. Final minute of this opening quarter. The Irish scored in their first 2 drives. Jim Harbaugh's new look offense, little spread, little lineup. They're averaging 3.5 yards per play thus far.
Well, they jumped back into 2-back set and ran power row with power football right at you. And they had a crease. So maybe he's going to work his way back under center and do his standard run game.
You see that number there. It was Michigan football. It's Bo. It's a fullback and line up and go. And they got a guy who can do it too in Higdon. 2 runs for the first down. Karam, the senior from Sarasota, Florida, takes it down to the 29-yard line.
He made Drew Tranquil miss in the hole and stayed up through the hole and had a nice little gain out of that one.
Tight end Sean McCune lines up as a fullback. And it's play action on first down. Patterson looking, scanning. He's got Gentry. Zach Gentry just a gain of 3 yards, and that will bring this opening quarter to an end. Notre Dame jumps out early on top of Michigan, 14-0 after 1. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. So glad you're with us. Watch Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Wendy's. Tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan, Terry McCauley, our officiating expert up here in the booth. Liam McHugh, Chris Sims, this pregame, halftime, postgame, and a postcard from South Bend. Glad you're with us to open this 2018 season with number 12 Notre Dame, number 14 Michigan. And it's the Irish up 14-0, but the Wolverines trying to take advantage of a bad punt by Notre Dame. Higdon with the run. Ruiz now lost his helmet here, so he's going to have to come out for a play. Always dangerous when you have to bring in your backup center.
He fired his helmet back on and slipped it into the huddle. Officials letting him know, hey, son.
Yeah.
Hey. No, but you're right. Substitute center, no practice snaps.
Right.
I want to get in the shotgun. I don't want to be under center.
And the center is Steven Spinells, who was a guard by trade. But before the bowl game last year, they tried to cross-train him at center. And he played about half of that bowl game at center. So he's comfortable with the spot. Patterson gonna come back here in the gun, like you said.
A little more comfortable.
No doubt. 3rd and 3. Want it. Clapping. Good snap by Spinellis. Patterson's got it up, and it's complete for the first down. Nico Collins gets hit by multiple Notre Dame defenders, but a first down to the 15-yard line.
Just one-on-one, and the key to this is the timing. He's not really that open. You're open on a slant route. Collins is a big body guy up top coming on the slant. He's a big body guy, so you just screen your defender off, and the ball is right in his chest. And it was not the prettiest ball in the world, but there was no panic. You know, he was trying to get the ball snapped. It was late, and he still delivers the strike.
6'4", big frame, big strong hands. You saw the center Ruiz, 51, back in for the Wolverines, and Patterson under center. On the roll in the boot, throws it complete to McCune inside the 10-yard line. Give him 7, maybe 8 on that first down.
See how accurate that throw is on the move? I mean, front shoulder, right on the front number. He comes across, naked bootleg, out leverage the defense. Boom, right on the front number so he can catch it running.
It's like a machine put it in there, right? Two for the first down, 7 for the touchdown. Higdon's got the 2. It'll be first and goal for Michigan. Again, this great field position started with an uncharacteristically poor punt, a 25-yarder that gave Michigan the ball at the 40 of the Irish.
But this has been Michigan football. This is more power football this drive. 2-back sets, under center a lot. Play action and bootleg offense. So it's not the spread stuff that Shea Patterson had done at Ole Miss. This is the Michigan of last year with Shea Patterson at quarterback.
Sophomore Ben Mason, 42, in there at fullback. Beauty is you can show this stuff, but run the other stuff out of it. First and goal, Wolverines looking for the first points of the year. Higdon left. Tackled inside the 3-yard line. Tavon Coney, we have called number 4's name a lot over there to make the play.
Great job at the point of attack, creating a hole, but Coney flows to make that. I mean, there's a crease there, and he closes in a hurry to avoid the touchdown.
Second and goal, play action. The fullback Mason is covered. Patterson's in trouble, and he's sacked by Jerry Tillery. So this Notre Dame defense continues to come up with big plays when Michigan's on the march.
Jerry Tillery finishes it off, and Dalen Hayes had pressure from the outside. There's Tillery in there. Michigan cannot block Hayes on the outside at all. Tillery on the inside closes the gap. Nowhere to run.
Injured Notre Dame defensive player.
Dalen Hayes, number 9, has been just shedding his blocks and getting in the backfield all day so far.
Myron Tagovailoa Amosa, sophomore, played a little bit in the 13 games he was active for last year, being looked at by the Notre Dame athletic training staff down at the 10-yard line. As part of that interior defense with Tillery and Jonathan Bonner as they look at the defensive lineman. A timeout. Wolverines going to face a third and goal from the 10-yard line here. 85-degree night, humidity is about 75%, so it is sticky this evening. Let's go back to Myron Tagovailoa Amosa, the sophomore. Went down as he was trying to avoid Tillery coming in to get Patterson. Limped off. They go with 3 defensive ends. They take 9. Dalen Hayes kick them inside in pass rush situations. Like this one, third and goal. Notre Dame has 5 DBs on the field. Out of empty, Notre Dame's been good so far when Michigan's had no backs. Patterson wants it. He's got it. He's got time. Incomplete, broken up by the safety Gilman. It was intended for Zach Gentry. And on 4th down, Michigan will try to kick a field goal.
Gentry is a big, tall, tight end. He's going to be running an in route. Comes around linebacker level. Gilman breaks and makes a great play on the ball. Gentry, big boy, great hands, reaches out to catch it. Stripped with the left hand by Gilman. That's just a great job of playing the ball in the air.
Again, Gilman, the transfer from Navy, born in Hawaii, very good football player. Big difference in this secondary. 28-yard field goal attempt. Semifinalist for the Groza Award last year. Quinn Nordine, one of the better returning kickers in college football, knocks it through and gets Michigan's first points of the season. That's 3 instead of 7. Gilman, a big part of that. Notre Dame football Football is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. By Kia Motors. Visit kia.com to learn more. By U.S. Bank, the power of possible. And by Verizon, now go mix and match family unlimited plans. You see some of the legendary coaches, Hall of Famers, who've been a part of this series through the years, including Lou Holtz, 1988. Lou's lads started against Michigan, won the opener, and went on to win the national championship. They celebrate the 30th anniversary of that. Now Jim Harbaugh, who was in this as a player as well, and Brian Kelly get to be a part of this special rivalry. Not much wind of a factor. Jake Moody to kick it off. Again, you can fair catch these in the field of play between the goal line and the 25. This one just your regular old-fashioned touchback, and the Irish can take it out at the 25. So Brandon Wimbush, we told you about last year, his first year as a starter. There was some good for Professor Kelly's quarterback at junior year. 14 rushing touchdowns, 8+ for that, of course. Best for a Notre Dame quarterback in a single season. 5.7 a carry, 803 rushing yards, second best for a quarterback. Get an 8 for that. Yeah, but we need some improvement here on a completion percentage. In this day
what is the pass fail percentage here?
Yeah, well, in this day and age, Doug, 49.5% is not acceptable. It's one of the things they talked about had to get better this year.
But he is lights out so far today, putting the ball right on the money on fade routes, down the field throws, and tight coverage.
Tony Jones Jr. is the back, and Wimbush keeps it and runs it. You see a little bit of what he does so well on that first down run. By the way, Alize Mack, who was injured on that play where Josh Metellus was called for targeting and ejected from the game. Mack has cleared concussion protocol. He is back in the lineup. Second and 4, and a look over to the sideline after seeing what Michigan's defensive first look is. Notre Dame said preach patience on offense against this talented defense. Wimbush decides to keep it. He pulls it out of the stomach of the running back Jones and gains 2 to the 33-yard line.
First zone read type of play to the left side. He did a great job of reading Gary. There he was a little indecisive. It took a little too long to pull the ball and get to the corner. Never got the edge. But he's such a threat, and against these talented defenses, with his ability to run the football, you have to use the quarterback as a runner. It's the only time you can block every man.
It's third and manageable. Michigan loads that defensive line. Devin Bush, number 10. He and 7, Khalid Hudson, with 15, Winovich. Game-changing plays they can make at the drop of a hat. Play clock running down.
A lot of press coming.
Timeout taken on the sideline by the Notre Dame coaching staff. So they looked over to see what the adjustment was. Took too long to get it to where it needed to get to, and the timeout taken by Notre Dame and Wimbush. So, Doug, it's a great thing when you have a quarterback who can throw as well, who can run as well as he can. But in this day and age where points are so plentiful and you're missing guys on the offensive line, he's going to have to pass it a little bit just to give him a chance to run for success.
I think it was so big that he hit his first few downfield throws and came out with some positive feedback right away. Now his confidence level is there, and he's delivering the ball. He's throwing some nice fade routes. He had a nice matchup with his tight end Mack on a linebacker Furbush and hit him on the fade. He's done a really nice job with all that, and then, you know, he can always go to the zone read and run on the football thing.
And there's some pressure on him because players know. And Ian Book came in, he won the bowl game. And Ian Book's a pretty good passer. And Brian Kelly has said, I'm not hesitant to bring Ian Book in for a few plays, for a series if I need to. But they kind of went back a little bit and just reestablished. Wimbush is the guy. He's the guy who we think gives us the best chance to win. But he's got to feel a little bit of that heat.
Even with the 49% completion last year, he made so many big plays. He still is going to win football games.
Responsible for 30 touchdowns. It's 3rd and 2. He is running here for that first down. He's going to get it. He put his shoulder down into Tyree Cannell, the safety, the Michigan captain. And Wimbush got past the 35, and the drive will continue inside the 10-minute mark here.
Well, last year, opening day, he said he wanted to get hit and carry the ball a little bit. It's going to be another one of those days where he has a lot of carries. He's going to be sore tomorrow.
He played a bit in his first year on campus, then did not play in that second season, 2016. So it had been almost 2 years since he really got hit. And he kept telling us week 1, I can't wait to get hit. And then against Temple, he kept getting hit. Pitch to Tony Jones Jr. Got the numbers on the edge, and Jones has a first down at the 47-yard line. Let's go down to the sideline, and Catherine Tappan.
Well, Mike, while Wimbush and Rashawn Gary are rivals on the field, in the stands tonight, Wimbush and Gary's mom are actually friends. I spoke to Heather Wimbush last night. She told me she and Jennifer struck up a friendship while the two sons were playing youth football in New Jersey. They speak about every week, but she told me this week in this game, the moms are keeping a respectable amount of distance between them, Mike.
A Jersey story told by someone from Jersey. Catherine, it's a great story, too. These two young men played against each other in a high school state championship game, played at a very high level. So they've known each other for many years, and they meet on the football field here tonight. First down run from just 2 yards inside there with Tony Jones.
And along those Jersey lines, Catherine was wearing her Rutgers red today with pride.
Proud former student athlete.
And they won today, too, gentlemen.
That's right, of the State University of New Jersey.
Yeah, that's right, 1-0.
All alma maters on our team are covered. DC won, Syracuse won, Rutgers won. So everybody's over 500 at some point this year, right? Irish will play Syracuse, our last NBC game, at Yankee Stadium this year. So that'll be a lot of fun. Bookending our schedule with 2 big ones. Run inside for Jones. So Jones, Armstrong, Davis, you've seen 3 running backs. You have not seen Dexter Williams for the Irish. It's been widely reported that he has a 4-game suspension that he is serving. Williams not on the field in action, but is in uniform for Notre Dame. Brian Kelly couldn't confirm for us or comment about any suspension that has been widely reported. But Williams still a part of this team and will not play here tonight. 3rd and 3. Wimbush has to throw it. Contact on the side with Avery Davis. And a flag is down.
It's Josh Ross just tackling Davis. Davis is in the game to run routes out of the backfield. Tried to run a wheel route down the left side.
Get caught with that.
and Ross just tackled him.
Number 12. The hold was on an eligible receiver. The ball crossed the line. 10 yards. First down.
Good explanation by Jeff Flanagan as it'll move it inside the Wolverines 40, and it'll be at the 35-yard line.
Avery Davis still in the game. They like to do a lot with him out of the backfield with routes. And usually you can tell by his split and his width of his alignment that he's on his way out of the backfield.
Wimbush starts in the shotgun, hops under center.
Throwback.
Yeah, a flag is down. The throwback is here to the aforementioned Avery Davis, who makes a couple of moves and gets to the 20-yard line. That flag thrown right away on the edge as Michigan was moving people and had a bunch of eligible receivers over there to the right.
A man went in motion, another man shifted. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Again, so you had the motion going on there, and as the players moved, another shift.
Someone may not have been set when the motion started. Oh, there you go. I think it was Alizé Mack actually in the backfield that was shifting his feet around while the motion was coming.
As Finke came in motion, so halfway through the quarter, it's 1st and 15 for Notre Dame, leading 14-3. They scored the first 14 of this one. There's wide splits on the Michigan defensive line as they bring 4. Wimbush finds a space to run and takes off, and they chase him, but he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Doug, we talked about how good the Michigan defense is, but there's only so much you can do with a running quarterback. Sometimes he uses your speed against you.
He just, this Eichenberg is here at left tackle, and he's got a big pass rusher on the outside, pushes him past the pocket, almost gets beat, but Wimbush's awareness in the pocket today has been excellent in stepping up.
2nd and 4, sidearm fling to Finke, and a touchdown earlier. He's got a first down here. Tackled by Khalid Hudson at the 20-yard line as the Irish keep moving the chains inside of 7 minutes.
And Eichenberg out there at left tackle is filling big shoes at McClinchy. Nelson is gone at left guard. So that left side is under a lot of pressure. This is his inaugural game going up against Gary and Winovich.
Doing well so far. His first start from the 20. Wimbush reverses field, chased by Gary. Now Wolverines wait for him, shuts it down after a gain of 3 on the sideline. They say the hit comes inbounds, so no penalty for a late hit on Jamarick Woods, who's the safety, a backup playing in part because of Metellus ejection.
Yeah, Woods going after him at the sideline. The contact is made inbounds. I mean, by the time he grabbed him, he was on the white, but contact was made inbounds. There's no call there.
Isn't it nice having Terry McCauley here? You look at him.
Terry, I'm looking over at Terry. Yeah.
And your confidence increases, Doug. I like it. So now it's 2nd and 7. Good block in the backfield, but not much going to happen for Avery Davis as Woods makes its 2nd consecutive play on the run.
Really nice job of reacting up by Woods from the secondary. He was deep on that play and came up and made contact just beyond the line of scrimmage. So he saw it quickly, deciphered it, and closed.
And we have a Michigan injury here. I believe it's David Long, the corner, who's on a knee outside the numbers inside the 10-yard line.
Brandon Watson would be backing him up, a 5th-year senior. And, you know, with the type of defense they like to play, corners are invaluable.
So motion his eye. We'll see what they look at here. Lavert Hill and David Long, the 2 corners for Michigan. Both return. They are very good cornerbacks. Some of the top-graded corners returning in the country this year. So the Wolverines have like one of everything on defense. But right now their defense is on the ropes. They're facing a 3rd and 7, down 11. Back here in South Bend, David Long, helped off by the athletic training staff. Ambry Thomas, number 1, has come into the lineup for Michigan. Michigan has extra DBs here on this 3rd and 7. Brandon Watson, one of those extra defensive backs. He'd normally be in nickel situations as well. So let's see where Notre Dame goes offensively from the 17. Wimbush looking to take off. He's got a block. Did he get to the 10? He went out of bounds instead of cutting inside. He needed to get to the 10, so what's Brian Kelly going to do? Let's see the mark first. It was very, very close. They had to get right to the line at the 10-yard line. Often at the start of a first down, they'll put it right on one of those big numbers, like exactly to the 20. They get it exactly to the 10. They're going to be short, but Notre Dame has kept the offense out there. They're ready to go for it, and Harbaugh's going to take a timeout because he's not sure what's going on his side. Timeout, Michigan. Wimbush is running and passing has been a very big part of the Irish taking the lead so far.
What a productive day. We anticipated him using his legs, but he's doing a great job of delivering the ball in one-on-one coverage, putting in a good spot for his receivers to make a play, and escaping up through the pocket, something he wasn't doing a lot last year. With these edge rushers coming deep, he's doing a nice job of stepping up through. This deep ball, just make a play. This was a just throw ball. I think he had his mind made up before that play even happened, but he's giving his receivers an opportunity to go up and make plays for him and running the ball extremely well. In the last series, he carried the ball 3 out of the first 4 plays, and the next 3 plays had the option to maybe carry the ball. So there's no hesitation to have him running the football. These situations, 4th and short, if he is in the gun, I would anticipate him carrying it because, like I said earlier, it's the only time you can block every defender and run power football is when your quarterback is running the football. So they'll use him in power situations. They'll use him just scrambling and moving or on the edge.
Irish should run it 18 times. He's run it 9. It is 4th and like only a couple of inches. They just have to get to the 10-yard line. 4 tight ends in the game. Wimbush keeps. He gets a push from Brock Wright legally from behind in the stadium where the...
All right, Chris, 4th and 1 at the Michigan 11. Any question on the field, on the sideline, that you're going to go for it?
No, I mean, we always had the mindset of we want to go for it on 4th down, so everybody on the field's wanting it, and Coach Long is always eager to queue up a 4th down call. So anytime we get it short enough like that one was, we're all expecting to go for it.
Now, this is eventually going to set up a Jafar Armstrong touchdown run, his 2nd of the game. We're talking over this play for a reason. Gets much better after getting that first down. But talk a little about Jafar. This was his first game ever, converted wide receiver. So, Chris, you had practiced with him a lot, and I think he gave everybody a taste of what he could do and hopefully can do when he stays healthy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jafar is a hell of a player, and he was really good at receiver, even better at running back. So it's not like he got moved from receiver to running back because he couldn't play it. But, I mean, we saw it in this game with how well he played. But, you know, I was so excited for him just on a personal level. I mean, he, like you said, it's his first game. He scored in the spring game, and the smile on that kid's face when he scored in the spring game, which is, you know, I mean, it's kind of just a scrimmage. But he was so excited. And I just knew how he probably felt walking in the end zone a couple of times against Michigan on this big stage. So he was a huge help for us this game, and I think the world of him. I think he's going to have a really good season next year as well.
And he just caught that pass right there. Khalid, you've had to chase him down on the practice field on defense more than a few times. What are your thoughts on what he has become and what he will become?
I mean, Jafar, I feel like the biggest thing is how much he's matured over the years, because my sophomore year was his freshman year, and I saw him as a freshman, you know, just going through the regular freshman struggles. But coming into this season, he really matured, you know, really fast, because he knew he had to step up and play, and he definitely did that for us. I mean, it's not fun having to chase him around. I mean, I'm definitely not quite as fast as him, so I mean, it just helps me get better.
As we've been talking, there's the toughness of Brandon Wimbush. Michigan wanted to beat him up. They hit him a lot, but they didn't succeed in that. And that personal foul sets up the Irish for another touchdown. So let's get back to the NBC game crew.
Pretty good call by the referee. I think this is roughing the passer. Shouldn't have lowered his helmet and hit him in the back.
That kind of adds to it. If it was a gray area, it takes a little bit of the gray away, in your opinion?
Absolutely.
And Winovich off the field.
He has to hit him within the first step. It's close there, but when he lowers the head, that's a foul.
Wimbush off as well, so Ian Book is in, and he hands left side, and it is Armstrong to the pylon, and in for the touchdown. So a big mistake by the Wolverines, fifth-year senior, and Notre Dame capitalizes with the score.
Got your tight ends on the outside cutting down, but 71, Alex Bars gets the pull, gets enough of his man to allow the corner to be had. Armstrong with just speed to the pylon.
And you saw Armstrong had a hand up there, and he turned the shoulder pads to Lavert Hill. That could have been called a hold there. Notre Dame's very lucky that that was not called on the tackle. Extra point, Justin Yoon. Maybe not a stunner that Notre Dame's leading, but for many, a stunner that they've scored 21 in 22 minutes against the vaunted Michigan defense. Armstrong in the house for the second time. And the Irish are on top 21-3. Top performances brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the 1988 season opener. We mentioned before, Bo against Lou and Reggie Ho. Brett Musburger calling that night. The biggest little man in South Bend, 26-yard field goal put the Irish ahead. Then Mike Gillette from 48 just missed that as time expired. The Irish won the first one. They won their next 11, their last national title back in 1988. A reunion of that team here tonight. Lou Holtz is in town, spinning tails as Lou's lads get together. There is Reggie Ho, who's a doctor and does some sensational work as well. This kickoff is not fair caught. Ambry Thomas brings it out from the 3. Thomas had a good return earlier, and here's Thomas with a nice one. Still on his feet, and Ambry Thomas is gone all the way for a Michigan touchdown. Mega, much-needed play for the Wolverines. For number 1.
Michigan touchdown.
Great job of setting up the return at the wedge area. No longer true wedges, but creates a crease. And Nico Fertitta had an opportunity right there to bring him down. And strong running, ran through 2 arm tackles and then continues down the field.
Very interesting. People are thinking about good hang time, fair catch the ball, so it comes out to the 25. But if you have great athletes, you need to think about taking it out every once in a while. And Thomas did a lot of the work there. Extra points added by Nordine, and Michigan gets back in it 14 seconds after the Notre Dame score.
What a game changer. 21-0. You're getting it handed to you so far. Nothing's going right. You bust a kickoff return, the energy level will go through the roof. It's got to transfer to the Michigan defense for them to step up, and you're right back in the ballgame.
Brian Polian, the special teams coordinator, talking to Brian Kelly. Brian Polian was here in Notre Dame, then became the head coach at Nevada, and has taken over the special teams the last couple of years. And they've had a couple of problems with the kickoffs. Nora had one kickoff go out of bounds, then had a late hit on the second kickoff, which was mitigated by a Michigan holding penalty. And that time the kickoff is returned 99 yards. And it's 21-10. Michigan, as you said, Doug, gets right back in it.
And everyone's trying to get the kickoff return out of football. How big a play is that? How exciting a play is that? Just a great moment for Michigan. You know, they've had nothing so far. They've moved the ball a little bit, and now they're right back in it.
And it was Thomas who took it back, a Detroit kid, Martin Luther King High School in Detroit. State champion. He was a terrific receiver in his high school days, playing DB here for the Wolverines, but made the big play on special teams. Now Jake Moody kicks with Jafar Armstrong, who's already had a couple of touchdowns tonight on offense, returning, and he's brought down at the 22-yard line. Looking forward to the fall season and a legendary hospital with a revolutionary doctor. A doctor who will break the rules to heal the system. New show is New Amsterdam. It's Tuesdays this fall, and it debuts in 3.5 weeks, September 25th, here on NBC.
Very important series here. Do you stem momentum for Michigan, or does Michigan's defense turn it up now and give their offense another opportunity? So this is a big set of downs coming out.
Again, it is game one. Game conditioning a factor. It is a humid night. These two units have been on the field a lot. From the 23, good patience run here by Armstrong. Showed a little natural running back ability for a guy who's not naturally a running back, and he's close to the 30-yard line.
Coach was saying he runs a little bit upright, being a wide receiver. You got to get him to lower the pads a little more, but his instincts are there.
Remember, Winovich had that late hit on the last drive. He's not on the field right now. Quiddy Pay is playing the other defensive end for the Wolverines, and a first down run here for Jafar Armstrong. They moved him before spring ball to give him a little sense of what it was going to be like on that offensive side through spring camp. They lose Josh Adams, a 1,400-yard season last year. All those big home runs, too. Remember, he had 4 70-plus-yard touchdown runs for the Irish. But here's one of the good parts of Armstrong. You can treat him as a receiver or a running back. Starts as a receiver, comes back to the backfield, and he runs into a wall of white. Only a couple of yards there. And a timeout being taken here.
Michigan is playing the clock. They'd like to get one possession back before the end of the half to have an opportunity to close the gap even more. And then from the Notre Dame side, you're thinking work it down the field and score at the end of the half as well.
The clock was stopped by the officials. I thought Michigan might have been taking a timeout, trying to get them to stop twice and get the ball, but it was more administrative. So the clock restarts. And dives under 2.5 minutes till halftime. Bush throws, it's complete, and Avery Davis will be stopped at the 38-yard line. So 3rd and 4 coming up when the next snap happens. Josh Ross, by the way, that's about the 4th tackle Ross has made the last 2 drives out of Southfield, Michigan. Terrific high school program, St. Mary's, division champs multiple times when Ross was there. He's been playing a significant amount here in this second quarter.
3rd and 4, you're going to get one-on-one matchups at receiver spots or a quarterback run. So he's going
to get timeout here first. They're going to let the play clock run all the way down. And Michigan will take the Notre Dame, I should say, will take the timeout. with a minute 33 till halftime. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan. Been a while since they won a true road game against a ranked team. Trying to do it tonight. State Farm halftime report. Liam McHugh, Chris Sinzer here talking about this game, and Wimbush outplaying Patterson. Tim Layton has a great look at the Michigan-Notre Dame rivalry over the years, and 11 years to the day of Appalachian State in the Big House. They almost did it in Happy Valley. They'll show you the highlights all coming up. State Farm halftime report. 3rd and 4, big money down here for both teams as Wimbush gets hit by Winovich but completes the pass to Claypool at midfield. First down for Notre Dame. Wimbush was taking the hit. He stayed in the pocket and completes it.
He's doing a great job of stepping up. He gets pressure from the outside from Winovich around the edge, coming hard around that edge again. He's going to take a hit, but delivers a strike on the under route to Claypool.
Michigan player hurt back behind the play. I think it's Devin Bush Jr. there. Outstanding inside linebacker there. Took a hit. Ooh, and they're looking at that right leg, and he was in pain as they grabbed it. So athletic training staff and Jim Harbaugh out to look at this preseason first-team All-American who was a Butkus Award finalist last year. He was blocked at the end of that play in some pain right away. They'll look at him, we'll step out. There's Devin Bush Jr. walking back, putting weight on it. He was holding a Gatorade bottle and trying to give him as much liquid as possible. So there's hope, if it's a Michigan fan, that it's a cramp and that he'd be back in the second half. They'll look at him back in the locker room. Meantime, first down for the Irish from midfield. It is Wimbush on the keeper, trying to get to the edge, and the journey's going to end quickly as he's taken out of bounds. And Michigan's doing what they should do. They're hitting Wimbush hard and often when he's running it 12 times in the first half.
Well, they were bringing it up inside. They had him outnumbered. They had Notre Dame outnumbered on the inside, so he had to pull the ball and couldn't get to the edge. He's going to take a lot of hits tonight. He's done a good job throwing the ball so far with 10 completions to 7 different receivers so far.
As the ranked scores go by, big matchup. Auburn beat Washington. Liam and Chris can have all the highlights of these games. All the key ones coming up in just a moment. On 2nd and 9, Wimbush. They set up the screen, and it's almost intercepted by Brad Hawkins. If it would have been completed, it could have gone for a long distance. Hawkins almost took it a long distance to really change the complexion of this one.
Davis in the backfield looking for a screen, so he couldn't get out cleanly. So pressure gets to Wimbush, so he tries to anticipate and guess with him. A little bit overthrown. Now watch a ricochet. Davis almost came back up with it, and he would have been gone down the sideline.
If he catches that and he turns the corner, he's gone for a touchdown the first time and the second time. Wow. 3rd and 9 with 56 seconds till halftime. Winovich brought down in the rush. A flag is down as the deep ball is thrown, and Finke is knocked down. There's no flag on the defensive pass interference side, but there will be a hold back here. An easy takedown of Winovich by Notre Dame. See if Harbaugh will decline to take 4th down and get the ball back.
Yeah, that was Hainsey on Winovich.
Offense number 72. That penalty will be declined. 4th down.
And it's interesting on the business end of this, on the pass, because the receiver was stumbling and then gets pushed. So is the stumble starting first before the push? First, let's look at the hold.
Here's Hainsey out here, and Winovich does this. He lowers that shoulder and gets that low edge and tries to drive past. He gets the pull down. Here at the end of the play, he's losing his balance to begin with.
And Hill puts a hand on him. That causes him to lose the balance, but you wouldn't have called pass interference off that first one. It looked a lot worse than it was. Newsome bad punt earlier. Line drive here that Donovan Peoples-Jones catches inside the 5. Rare that returners do that, and that's why. Chase Claypool, the starting receiver, who is on several special teams units for the Irish, shows you why he is.
Here's one of your most talented receivers playing multiple special teams. He's just such a freak of an athlete. Gets down there. Peoples-Jones is a great athlete. Pulls him down at the 2-3 yard line in open space.
Remember, Notre Dame gets the ball to start, or Michigan gets the ball, excuse me, to start the second half. Michigan won the toss and put their defense out there first.
With only one timeout, they should kneel this down and run out the clock.
Michigan back at its own 2-yard line with 40 seconds till halftime. Patterson will give. Karan Higdon will get it to the 6 or 7-yard line.
I don't know why you mess with handing that ball off.
You just want to take and go in the line and not risk a disaster.
Kneel it down and get to the locker room. Joe Pisarcek.
1977, Eagles Giants. Miracle the Meadowlands. Herman Edwards, now the coach of Arizona State. Part of that play. The math has been done. Michigan doesn't need to snap it again. It's heading to the locker room halftime. Michigan's only touchdown on a kickoff return. Notre Dame 233 yards of total offense in the first half. State Farm halftime report coming up with Liam McHugh and Chris Sims. They'll talk about this one and tell you what happened on Saturday 1 right after these messages and a word from your local station. Big atmosphere, big plays in that first half. Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium. Time for our first half stats brought to you by Wendy's. Michigan limited to just 90 yards on 27 plays. Notre Dame ran 13 more plays, much more effective. A turnover-free first half. Brian Kelly's team was up 21-3. Then Jim Harbaugh's folks got their biggest play of the half. The Ambry-Thomas 99-yard kickoff return to make it 21-10 as we get set for the third quarter. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan, Terry McCauley, our rules expert, up here in the booth with us on this very humid night. The temperature and the humidity both in the mid-70s, so it is soggy. And Doug, game 1, it'll be a factor here in the second half. Conditioning for both teams will be tested.
No doubt about it. They haven't been through 4 quarters of intense football yet. Already we've had a couple of guys cramp up a little bit. By the fourth quarter, that could really kick in.
Justin Yoon back to the kickoff man, no return, and we go down to the sideline and Catherine Tappan.
Well, Mike, I spoke to Brian Kelly at halftime, and he told me he was happy with the way that his team played both on offense and defense, but he said we need to get better at the kicking game. That's because special teams, it's really been the lone bright spot so far for Michigan. Jim Harbaugh told me we need to play better on both sides, and on defense especially, we need to restrict Notre Dame's running lanes, Mike.
You look at the running that Wimbush has been able to do, Doug, as he's stepped up in the pocket or in the regular design runs for the quarterback. Only 38 yards, but some effective ones. So the Ole Miss transfer, Shea Patterson, making his Michigan debut. 9 of 12 in that first half, but only 62 yards. The longest completion was 12 yards. And before the first play, we have a delay of game.
5-yard penalty. First down.
So Terry McCauley, bring it right in because that's a rule change here about starting a drive after a kickoff.
Absolutely, Mike. As soon as the kick ends, within a second or two, they're going to start the play clock. Team offense has to get their players out and snap it within 40 seconds.
They did not, so it's 1st and 15 as Michigan starts this drive at the 20 now. And Patterson on play action, looking for a deep shot, trying to get it downfield, trying to make something happen. And Nico Collins is there for the Wolverines. They needed to stretch the field. We said the only long pass was a 12-yarder. They do it there.
Nico Collins running past Julian Love with no safety help because of the corner route. The safety starts to go up. Now the ball is perfectly placed to the inside so Collins can go in and get it. The route, actually, when I was making my initial read on the route, I was throwing the corner route because it was wide open. He held on to the ball, let Collins run, and threw it in a great spot for him.
52 yards. Biggest play Michigan's had from scrimmage tonight. They're at the Notre Dame 28, and Patterson's back up top. And that pass is caught deep. He fell down. Donovan Peoples-Jones to the 15 in front of Troy Pride Jr.
Shea Patterson getting a chance to get back out on the field after the kickoff return for a touchdown. Basically, he went a long window of time without running plays. So it's been a while since he's been wheeling and dealing out there. He comes out firing the first couple of plays.
Notre Dame had a 15-yard drive, a 15-play drive, and an 8-play drive. Patterson in trouble, flushed by Kareem, and the pass is incomplete. The intended receiver was Grant Perry, and Khalid Kareem, who was chasing Patterson, is the one who's down for Notre Dame. Very end of the play, had a sack in the first half. Oh, and takes a bad step with that left ankle twisting as he was jumping around Patterson. And has apparently injured that left leg. So they look at the junior defensive end out of Detroit, Michigan, and we'll take a timeout. So the offensive line coach, Ed Warner, was right in the middle of that huddle there. He's the new offensive line coach for Michigan. There he is. He's an analyst on this staff. His time at Ohio State and Minnesota. Before that, also has Notre Dame in his background back in 2010, 2011. The injured player, Kareem, did jog off under his own power. It is 2nd and 10 for Michigan in the red zone. Just outside the 16. Patterson, good hands up to knock it down by Adi Okundiji. Adekunbo Okundiji, the defensive end who comes in for the injured Kareem. He's also from the Detroit area, West Bloomfield, Michigan.
Okundiji coming from the left, gets the hands up, and there's nowhere to put this ball for Patterson. And as a smaller quarterback, sometimes you can drop down sidearm and get it around them or drift away. There was nowhere to go with that ball.
Grant Perry was digging back for that receiver screen. Clark Lee, the new Notre Dame defensive coordinator, has seen his unit do a good job on 3rd downs here tonight, especially this portion of the field. 3rd and 10. Irish bringing 4. Patterson out of the pocket, going end zone, incomplete for Donovan Peoples-Jones. Nick Coleman came in as the nickel with the coverage. Field goal will make it an 8-point game, and Michigan will send out that unit.
Little pressure in the pocket, forced Patterson to step up, and it just got clustered. It wasn't like someone was going to hit him right away, but there's just no vision because everything got backed up in his face. Threw the ball long and incomplete. 34-yard field goal attempt for Nordine. Was the #1 ranked place kicker by many of the recruiting services coming out of high school in Rockford, Michigan. Bad snap. Was not held on to by the holder Hart, who is running for his life, and he will get thrown down. I shouldn't say bad snap. I think Hart made the mistake. It was a botch snap. I thought it was clean and catchable, and Hart, a returning holder, I think just blew it. It just slips out of his hands, bringing it down, and it's over. I mean, you make your call to whether it's bingo, fire, whatever, so hopefully people release. No one released down the field. He had nowhere to throw the ball, just held on to it, took the loss. That's a big 3 points.
Oh, huge.
It would have cut it to a 1-score game.
It just happens. It's game 1. You have returning players. It's not a new player at the position. Again, it's a hot, humid night, but you know, that's life week 1. It's such a different feel than every other sport.
I always loved having a holder that was in the flow of the game, whether it be a receiver or a quarterback that was playing, that had already broken a sweat.
Jafar Armstrong takes the first down run to the edge, a gain of 3. Tyreek Cannell and Chase Winovich in on the tackle. One of Michigan's safeties, if you're not with us the first half, Josh Metellus, ejected for a targeting foul as he hit Notre Dame tight end Alize Mack, 86, who cleared concussion protocol. He's back in. Irish back on the gas pedal, going quick. Wimbush hit as he puts it downfield, and it's intercepted. Taken away and turned back the other way by Brandon Watson. The corner, he's out of bounds across midfield. And the first turnover of the game comes from the Irish.
Winovich gets to the quarterback. Wimbush can't wait long enough to see exactly what happens down the field, so he puts it up, anticipating something to happen. Hainsey getting beat by Winovich, just throws him. Great pressure on the quarterback. Now, Claypool did put the brakes on, so now the ball's picked off. Here, you've got to make that tackle as a receiver. This turns into a punt return, running back up the field. That's 20 yards of field position. Great play by Watson to find the ball in the air, run it down.
Out of Wilmington, Delaware, 50-year senior. So predates Harbaugh here in the program, gets his first career Michigan interception. Wolverines back on the field in good field position, just shy of midfield. Ron Higdon. No place to go for Higdon. Asmar Bilal, the rover from Indianapolis, comes over, and Tavon Coney helps him finish the deal.
This offensive line for Michigan cannot handle the front seven of Notre Dame. They're getting penetration, shedding blocks, getting into the backfield.
Michigan has been unable to run the ball effectively tonight. Second and 14. Story remains the same. I should say Kareem back in the game, makes the tackle for the Irish. This was one of the stories coming into this season. Michigan's offensive line was not good enough last year. Would they be better? And so far tonight, they haven't been.
And all we heard was how much improved they were through training camp. They won their share of battles against this tough Michigan defense in camp.
Snap being held for a moment. Play clock down to 10. Wolverines need to get to the Irish 41. Patterson gets rid of it. It's complete, but not going to be able to get to the first down marker is Nick Eubanks. Spilled in the open field by Drew Tranquil. It's 4th and 4 at the Irish 45. It's 3.5 minutes in.
Tranquil closing the gap right here. Just puts on the brakes and heads to the sideline. I mean, he was wide open and had open field in front of him. Closed the gap short of the first down.
So Troy Pride, number 5, the corner, pulled up there as he came to the sideline for Notre Dame. Michigan going to go for it here on 4th and 4. It's 4 minutes into the third quarter.
Man coverage.
And Patterson gets rid of it quick. Incomplete. And the Irish will take over. Intended for Zach Gentry. Aloy Gilman, who's been terrific in coverage tonight, was there again. And this Notre Dame defense has taken the headlines. The Michigan defense doing the job at home in the opener. 3 weeks and a couple of days away here on NBC. It does sound great, doesn't it?
How does that happen?
Don't age a day, right? Collinsworth had the same reaction when Al read the promo a week ago, so we look forward to that show. Notre Dame takes over at the 45-yard line, and going nowhere is Jafar Armstrong. Chase Winovich in on that stop. We saw Robert Hainsey, the right tackle who was beaten on that last play for Notre Dame that was intercepted, run off the field. That means Tommy Kramer is in there, 78. He was the starting guard. He moves to tackle. Josh Lugg, a sophomore, is in there in the guard spot. 2nd and 10. Wimbush under duress puts it up for grabs. Armstrong didn't come back for it. It's incomplete. He just had to get rid of it, and Michigan's turning up the heat now on the Irish quarterback, Doug.
Every play, Gary and Winovich are cutting that edge down and getting in Wimbush's face, not giving him enough time to really go up the field with the ball. Look at the two. It's like chasing the quarterback every play, closing that edge.
Fierce pressure. It's no surprise. These guys were among the top pressure providers on defense in the country last year. Winovich thought about going pro, didn't. Gary's the former #1 recruit in the country. They are studs. Now pressure coming. It's picked up. Wimbush going up top here, and that pass incomplete. And it's a very quick 3-and-out. Kevin Austin, a freshman who might do big things here down the line for the Irish, was the intended receiver.
Again, quick pressure, great pressure. Wimbush now really has to anticipate, put the ball up early and guess. When the pressure gets to you that quickly, you can beat it with your arm, but now you really have to anticipate and just lob it out there and hope you guess right with where your receiver's getting his release. Ball falls incomplete.
These last 2 drives look like the Michigan defense we talked about at the start. Tyler Newsome, captain, poor punt earlier. This one much more like it, and couldn't put the left turn signal on. Goes all the way through the end zone. 55 the kick, 35 the net. Michigan takes over at the 20. And we remind you that Notre Dame football is brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of NCAA football. By Discover Card, we treat you like you treat you. by Untuck It, shirts designed to be worn untucked. Untuckit.com. And by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer. You see some of the names that have made fall so special at these two schools, including Tom Brady, who got his first ever start as the Michigan quarterback against the Fighting Irish. Taking over at the 20, Chris Evans is now the running back. He's been in a couple of series, only gets 1.5 yards there. Evans, who was the second back last year like he is now, out of Indianapolis Ben Davis High School. 681-yard season, 685 I should say, last year for the Wolverines.
He's a little more of a receiver out of the backfield, a slasher, a guy they do a few more things with. Screen game maybe.
Second and 8. Patterson gets it to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Got a block from Nico Collins, his receiver. Gain about 5. It'll be 3rd and 3 coming up. Those of you who are watching Alabama, they're cleaning out Louisville 28-0. No surprise. Not competitive there at the break. We welcome you to South Bend. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan, Terry McCauley up here, our officiating expert in the booth with us. Michigan's vaunted defense gave up 21 in the first half. Notre Dame jumped out to a 14-0 lead. A 99-yard kickoff return, the only touchdown for the Wolverines in the first matchup in 4 years between these two legendary programs. 3rd and 3. The Notre Dame defense has been very good on this down thus far. They're going to chase down this option toss to Evans, who circles back, but not going to get there. And Clark Lee, the first-year defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, has his guys playing fast and playing well.
Watch Bill Lyle out on the outside. You got to, as an option quarterback, you got to close that gap before pitching the ball. He pitched the ball a little bit early. Bill Lyle had an opportunity to cover both the quarterback and the pitchback and close the gap.
Here's the 36-year-old Clark Lee. He got the job after last season, a very successful season for Mike Elko, who went to Texas A&M. Lee promoted from the linebackers coach and is doing a very good job thus far in his first game ever as a college coordinator. Will Hart kicks it away. Well pressured. A flag is down after this 51-yard punt is fair, caught by Fink back at the 23-yard line. It was 4th and 4. So let's check this flag that was thrown right near the line of scrimmage. It's on the Wolverines.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield. The receiving team is elected to add 5 yards to the end of the run. Receiving team's ball, 1st down.
Jim Harbaugh's unhappy. His offense hasn't been very good, especially on the ground thus far. Irish by 11, about halfway through this 3rd quarter. Well, tomorrow NASCAR pays tribute to 7 decades of racing and the legends that made it special. Southern 500 in Darlington, 6 Eastern on NBCSN. Texting with our analyst Taylor Jr. today. He said, hey, make sure you call it a speedway. It's old school, it's on track, it's a speedway, but it's one of his favorite weekends of the year. Throwback, retro. If you love old NASCAR, you'll enjoy the race tomorrow on NBCSN. Wimbush 1st down keeping, and he's not going to go very far, gaining only 1 yard. Brad Hawkins, the tackle. And now, Doug, Michigan's defense is honing in on shutting down number 7 as a runner. Going to make him beat him in the air.
Absolutely. And when he's throwing the ball, trying to go up the field now, pressure is getting to him on the throws that are down the field. He hasn't had the time he had early in the game. Devin Bush is back in at linebacker.
Bush, number 10, the first-team All-America preseason for Michigan, left at the end of the first half of the Cramps, and there he is! Throwing Wimbush to the ground inside the 20-yard line. So the return of Devin Bush Jr., a 5-sack man last year, sends the Irish way back.
And he just, this is athleticism. He runs right by Sam Mustipher, tries to slide to him right through, straight. No opportunity for Wimbush to get rid of the ball. There's speed, quickness, little agility in there. Oh, he went for the ball too as well, which was a great try for the strip.
So now 3rd and 18. This Michigan defense cranking it up. Wimbush taking off. He's taking a bunch of hits here. Can he get to the 1st down line? He did! What a run by Wimbush. Wow, 1st down Irish.
Quarterback draw with a lead number 6 gets in front of Wimbush and just gets a piece of his man, creates the crease, Mustafa upfield. Now watch the power running. He puts his shoulder down and go. 2 plays ago, I wanted him to turn one up into a gain, a 3-yard gain. Instead, he took it wide. There, he got tough and ran.
Thanksgiving this time, Tony Jones Jr. runs right. Somebody else take a hit, please. two yards for him. Doug, what did Brian Kelly tell us? Wimbush is his best running back.
Absolutely.
Kind of playing him that way right here tonight.
But the other guys have no carries. I mean, Tony Jones had some carries, but no one else had any experience at all. And Brandon Wimbush is a strong, powerful runner. You can't put your shoulder down every time. He did it in a 3rd down situation when he needed the 1st down.
2nd and 7 to give. This time Jones broke through that arm tackle and gets the 1st down. Jamaric Woods, the safety, came up. Bush was involved in that hit as well. He's been all over the place since that last drive. It's a 1st down, and Bush is slow to get up.
Yeah, he's been
coming off here.
Those were a couple big 1st downs for Notre Dame to stem some of the momentum that Michigan had. They had a 3-and-out in the last opportunity. So that was that run by Wimbush on the quarterback draw was huge.
Devin Gill is going to come in to replace Devin Bush Jr. So the timeout taken. Don Brown.
50 seconds, please. There is no charge timeout.
So if there's no charge timeout, what are coaches doing on the field?
And how come the ball's not being set and snapped?
Right. It happened on that sideline there, and they've got to know that at that point. The officials have to administrate that. Brian Kelly wants to know what's going on. Why?
Yeah, there's no timeout, but there's 100 players on the field, 5 or 10 coaches. And I think what Kelly's upset is we had a little. He's saying we had a little rhythm going here, and you're stopping that.
Well, in that situation, it's over on the Michigan sideline. They took the time, and the officials did the proper thing as they marked the 1st down. Perhaps the back judge saw Bush was hurt. They gave him time to get out, make the substitution, and they need to do administratively, get the clock reset. All well and good, but why do you let coaches over there? You're on that sideline, and that's what Kelly was upset about, and he had every reason to be. Especially because you're taking your middle linebacker out, and you get a chance to get
organized.
defense's head together. Exactly. 1st and 10 from the 44.
Crosshair.
Wimbush under pressure, got away from the would-be sack. Looking downfield and fires, caught by Claypool on the sideline. At the 25-yard line, the 1st down. Devin Gill came in, had a chance, didn't finish.
Claypool comes in motion and runs across the field. He's open right now. Usually the ball would be thrown. Wimbush is busy avoiding people, moving around. Finally finds him.
He almost went out of bounds. Almost went out of bounds. 19 on that gain, and that one runs into the back of the offensive lineman. So Michael Dwumfor is going to get the easy stop on Tony Jones Jr. I know you saw him open because I heard you yell crosser.
Crosser.
Do we have a ball in the booth? Do we need to get the ball back in your hands?
I wanted to throw the corner out when Shea Patterson was throwing the post, and he hit the post. Sometimes more than one guy's open, you got to have multiple balls. Great job by Wimbush buying time. Well, not buying time, just avoiding the sack, and then finding the receiver down the field. Athletic quarterbacks.
Big 1st down defensive play by Michigan. Makes it 2nd and long. It's a tough defense to pick these up on. Jones going to run it to the left. It's going to set up about 3rd and 11 here. Brandon Watson with a tackle for Michigan. 4:20 to go. Neither team has scored in this 3rd quarter.
It kind of looked like the play you run to make sure you're in field goal range. And now maybe you take a shot.
3rd and 11. Wimbush has time. He's putting it up top. He's going for Miles Boykin at the pylon. Caught for the touchdown.
Well, we expected to see some of this.
We're going to have to see the replay, too. It's going to be very close. It's his knee down.
Miles Boykin, tall receiver, go up, throw him some fade routes. Great adjustment to the ball. He took an inside release on Watson. The ball's thrown over the outside shoulder. He turns and finds it. I believe this will stand. I think the knee scrapes the ground.
You got a flag back here, too. You see the flag in the back there, so the flag is going to negate looking at the replay or anything. And it's going to be a flag on Notre Dame that will back them up. That would have been a very interesting replay call there, but there was a flag thrown right on the 30-yard line. Ineligible receiver downfield is the call.
There wasn't a run-pass option, was it?
It didn't look like it at the start.
No, it looked like a true pass play. So just
play clock running. Brian Kelly's telling his team they've got to get going here for this 3rd down and 16 at the 31, right on the fringe of Yoon's field goal range.
This is usually quarterback draw area where he wants to get into field goal range.
Got the snap, outnumbered on the left, so the pressure came, and Wimbush avoided one tackle. Devin Gill gets him there, and it's going to be 4th down. Terry McCauley.
All right, ineligible downfield. Any part of the lineman's body has to be more than 3 yards. So we're snapping it from about the 26.5.
Wow, where's that?
All right, okay,
here's the only possibility there.
Covered receiver. Let's go back and look and see if we got a receiver covered.
Okay, we'll go back and look at that here after the field goal attempt coming up for Justin Yoon. But certainly none of the linemen were downfield, but has somebody become that ineligible receiver because they recovered and thus went downfield? We'll sort that momentarily. In the meantime, it's Yoon from 48 yards out. His long last year was 49. Off in time, and Yoon knocks it through. So the senior from Nashville, Tennessee, with a big field goal for the Irish, up 14. We'll look at that penalty that happened on the rookie touchdown when we come back. Let's show you why there was no touchdown if it would have been inbounds or not for Notre Dame. Terry McCauley's with us. Terry?
So you've got the wide receiver too far up on the line. He's clearly covering the tight end. So the tight end now cannot go downfield more than 3 yards. He does before the pass is thrown. This is a foul for an ineligible downfield.
So when you see receivers take that step back off the line when the tight end comes in motion, that's so everybody can be eligible as a receiver. Thus, Komet 84 was treated as a lineman there. And that's why that was an eligible lineman or receiver downfield.
Get on, Mike.
Thank you, Terry. Touchback there. So Ambry Thomas with the 99-yard kickoff return hasn't put his hands on it since. Shea Patterson, the Michigan offense. We didn't know what they were going to have. Clark Lee, what was he doing in his first time as a defensive coordinator at college? He was studying tape. He looked at San Francisco and Colin Kaepernick. He looked at Florida because that's where the new receivers coach, Jim McElwain, was the head coach. He looked at Minnesota and Ohio State because that's where the offensive line coach was. He looked at Michigan. He looked at Ole Miss, just trying to figure out what they were going to be offensively, the Wolverines. So far, Clark Lee's defense has done well. 40 plays for Michigan and 155 yards. The give to Karan Higdon, the back, running to the edge, and Higdon gets to the 34-yard line. Devin Studstill the tackle. What about this Notre Dame defense, Doug, here tonight?
I think the defensive line, the front seven in general, has beat the Michigan offensive line. In the run game, they're getting across spaces. They're getting penetration on pass plays. Dalen Hayes has been getting in the backfield all day long. And Tranquil has been going sideline to sideline at the linebacker position.
Michigan's offense, 7 possessions, just 3 points tonight. Patterson throws to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Tries to make a couple of men miss. He'll get the first down just shy of the 40-yard line. Liam McHugh and Chris Sims showed us at halftime the UCLA highlights, and I know all the Michigan fans send their concerns to Wilton Spate, who had a spine injury last year, week 4, and was injured in his debut as the UCLA starter. But whether it was Spate or Brandon Peters or John O'Korn, the quarterbacking position, had Michigan fans feeling like they do tonight, where the offense just isn't giving them high-level football against a good defense. That's the story thus far. Still time. Patterson, play action, about to get hit. Got away from Bilal's would-be sack and got himself very close to a first down. He slid, so it's where the ball was when the slide began. And it's a yard shy of the first down, but a good play by Patterson.
Bill Lyle coming off the edge, and Patterson just slips under it. He's a great athlete, keeps his balance and takes off. These are, even though they haven't scored a lot of points offensively, they've only gotten a 3. The quarterback play is much better than what they were getting last year. It's a more confident throwing, more accurate throws. They just haven't put it all together to get it in the end zone. And
Notre Dame's defense has been good against that front. 2nd and 1, maybe a free play, maybe a shot. Patterson hit as he throws. The underthrow is intercepted by Julian Okwara.
Cliff, you made both Michigan quarterbacks, Patterson and McCaffrey, uncomfortable the entire game.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely did that. Like, that was our goal. Kind of at the start of the season, something Coach Elston always, asks us before the game is, who's the backup quarterback? We want to break the starting quarterback will to play, and let's bring in the second quarterback. But I mean, this is right here is a great play by Julian. I mean, he stumbled getting out in his coverage, but then popped his head around and made a great play for us. Good shift of momentum for us, and then get the ball back in our offense's hands.
Chris, as a receiver, how hard is that? Because normally when you're a receiver, you know the ball may come to you, so you know where to look for it. As a defender, he doesn't necessarily know the ball's coming or where it's going to be. How tough was it for Julian to turn around that quickly, locate, and catch the ball?
Yeah, I mean, that just speaks to how good of a player Julian is. He's late getting out, and he gets his eyes around. He doesn't know if the ball's coming or not, but, he gets his hands in the right place, gets his feet in bounds. So, overcoming that, probably a little bit of panic in his mind. I got to get out to my assignment, and then, gathering himself and having the composure to make the play. That's why he's had the success that he has and why he's going to have it for a long time.
Well, guys, you knew this coming into the game. It's Notre Dame, Michigan. It's going to come right down to the end. So we're going to be back to talk about another pretty big play that Khalid was involved in at the end of the game to kind of put this one away.
Team on the road, got to get one. Fighting for that extra yard, bench back. Let's see where that mark is going to be for Jafar Armstrong. Line judge comes in. Looks like he's moving it forward. He is. Now, first down. Very interesting there. Jim Harbaugh is asking.
Jimmy saw that. He saw where the ball should have been marked from over there in that mess and knows it should have been short.
Well, he's standing right at that mark at the 46-yard line. Didn't like the mark.
Not at all.
It's first down. They don't stop to look at the mark and replay. Armstrong loses 3 yards there. As we get to the end of the third quarter, only points at Notre Dame field goal, and off we go to the fourth quarter with the score. Notre Dame 24, Michigan 10. Back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Wendy's. From South Bend, tonight's aerial coverage being brought to you by the unexpected energy of Exxon Mobil. First 2 drives, 2 Notre Dame touchdowns. Michigan's been trying to dig out ever since. As we said last time, the Wolverines had the ball. Only 3 points scored by the offense. 1 kickoff return, their lone touchdown. Notre Dame 24, Michigan 10. The fourth quarter begins with 2nd and 13 for the Irish. The 5-man pressure on Wimbush going up top again, and it's Alize Mack who cannot hold on. It's incomplete. Miles Boykin went down awkwardly. Mack goes down as well. Mack, the tight end, limping back towards the huddle, and Boykin, who almost caught a touchdown on the prior drive, stays on the knee.
He does a nice job of getting his hand in there to knock it out. So somewhere on the falling to the ground, a little collision.
Yeah, as Mack goes down, he ends up getting Boykin on the heel from behind there, right there. Boykin is walking off. Miles Boykin became a hero for the Irish last year, catching that touchdown. It was a 55-yard game winner at the Citrus Bowl. He had 102 of his 253 receiving yards in the bowl game victory over LSU.
He reached up with one paw and just snatched it out of the air, made 2 defenders fall. Well, they fell to the ground kind of on their own, and he took it the rest of the way.
And it's now Boykin and Chase Claypool who become the wide receiving targets. Equanimeous St. Brown off to the NFL. Kevin Stefferson dismissed from the team. C.J. Sanders now at SMU. So a different looking receiving corps for Wimbush. 3rd and 13. They're going to run here on 3rd and 13, and they're going to run backwards. Winovich comes up to stop Jafar Armstrong with a loss of 4, and it will be punt time for the Irish much better half defensively for the Wolverines.
Winovich coming off the edge is just a madman. He just comes flying down. And the second this play gets delayed at all on the front side where you have to cut back, it's over. Done.
Anybody's good unblocked. This guy's really good when he is blocked.
He's got a knack for lowering his shoulder, getting very low with speed around the corner.
Tyler Newsome kicking. This will be untouched. Will it stop before the goal line? It will. 57 yards, and Michigan will have 96 yards to go bring it down the field. John Shannon, the long snapper, was down there to stop it at the 4. Jim Harbaugh, year 4 in A Square, Ann Arbor. This university's football team used to wins. Wasn't getting many before Jim came in from the 49ers. 10-3, but 3rd in the Big Ten East. Same record the next year. Again, 3rd in that loaded half of the Big Ten. And last year, 8-5, 4th in the league. And really, when you take a step back and look at it, Michigan didn't beat many good teams last year. Losing to the big guys is really good. But the only team they beat with a winning record was Purdue. And Purdue ended up 7-6. So Michigan has to do better against the best. First down run, backed up inside their own 5. Only 1 yard there for Karan Higdon. And Doug, let's mention for a second here Tyler Newsome, the punter for Notre Dame. He had a bad punt earlier on that we brought up, but 2 punts now have pinned Michigan back inside their own 5 to start drives.
He couldn't have kicked that any farther. That was a bomb with hang time, and then the thing dies inside the 5-yard line. Gilman is having a heck of a game at safety right now for Notre Dame. He came up in a hurry on that last play with a fill.
Alohi Gilman, number 11 for the Irish. Another run with Higdon this time. Puts his head down. Asmar Bilal tackles him, but after a first down is achieved, out at the 16-yard line.
That was the first clean run at point of attack for Michigan in a while. Creasing it.
Patterson's down. I wonder if Patterson is feeling the effects of the hits he's taken and this long, humid night. And there's Dylan McCaffrey, who has got the helmet on and ready to come in. So Brandon Peters was the quarterback who started 4 games for the Wolverines last year. You know, information's very hard to come by. Michigan doesn't put out a 2-deep. They're very difficult to give you a hint at what's going to be happening. So no clear sign of who is going to be the backup quarterback. But there's Peters, who, as we said, not only started 4 but played 6. But Dylan McCaffrey, sophomore, out of Castle Rock, Colorado, just outside of Denver. The son of Eddie McCaffrey, you know, was a terrific player in the NFL, and his brother Christian is now in the National Football League. He's running back with the Panthers as Patterson comes over. Dylan McCaffrey, who was a champion in a pretty good high school area for football out there in the Denver suburbs, comes into the game to make his debut. Sophomore, scout team MVP last year. Patterson might be out briefly, but here comes Dylan McCaffrey. One thing they said, top to bottom, the quarterback room had better play in the preseason. Comes in and he hands it off. It's Higdon to the 19-yard line. And did you like the build-up? Good, because he handed it off
Shea Patterson right back in. But they raved about McCaffrey's athleticism as well. So in this style of offense, the things they're doing, he is the second guy in. Where Brandon Peters would be more of a drop back under center type guy. So with the spread stuff and the quarterback runs and the movement.
Well, glad we were ready for McCaffrey.
We were ready.
The sophomoric surreptitious no 2-deep thing has been talked about a lot with Michigan. That's their prerogative. It's all fine and good. Alabama and Clemson put out 2-deeps. 2nd and 7. And here is Shea Patterson back of the He almost was down, and a big hit on Sean McCune as Patterson, still with that cramping, should have to come back off. Jalen Elliott with the hit. His knee was almost down when he threw the ball. He would have been down even though no contact in college. But Patterson's coming back over the sideline.
Yeah, he's on the move and probably started cramping up in the middle of the run, and he just had to get rid of the ball.
He was not down. His knee didn't come down, so there's a great call back there.
He still managed to get the play done and get the completion.
And the big hit on McCune, so McCaffrey comes back. A lot of guys have been cramping thus far. Not sure if that's what it is with Patterson. It appears as such. 3rd and 5. Dylan McCaffrey is going to roll and throw for the first time, complete for the first down to Grant Perry. Man, you talk about being one snap away and throwing yourself into a big moment. Dylan McCaffrey answers the call.
But he's an athletic kid. You get him on the perimeter, just sprint out, easy route right in front of his face for a first completion. 3rd down conversion, gain your confidence.
Dylan McCaffrey was the #2 quarterback in the nation via several of the recruiting services. There's a lot of that it factor. When seen in 2-minute drills, he has performed well. Comfortable on the big stage. A couple of yards here for Higdon. It's an interesting time now. Who knows what's wrong with Patterson? Let's just say he's cramping. Let's make the obvious assumption as he's taking the water there. No athletic trainers are looking at him otherwise. McCaffrey's in. It's 10:58. You're down to about 2 or 3 drives left in the game. You need 14 points. You still have plenty of time to be patient and run the ball, but things are going to get snug here really fast for the Maize and Blue.
And they're going with the under center offense, so that's run the ball and play action.
From the 30, McCaffrey has some time. He takes off with the run for about 3 yards. Tavon Coney the first hit. Here's Catherine Tappan on that human sideline.
Well, Mike, they're working on both of Shea Patterson's legs, massaging them and his calf, but it's mainly that right calf that appears to be cramping up. He's drinking lots of water. Both the trainers are bringing many water bottles over to him, and it appears to be an issue for a lot of players on this field tonight, Mike. It's very hot and steamy down here, but we'll keep an eye on Patterson on the sideline.
All right, Tap, as we said, it's 77 now. The humidity's in the 70s as well. It's just one of those you walk out and you start sweating. Under 10 minutes to go in the game. 3rd and 6. McCaffrey has 5 options. He throws complete. Donovan Peoples-Jones hangs on. That's a first down. So as Troy Pride Jr., the cornerback, seems to be in that same situation, Doug. Let's see that mark now. Oh, it's going to be 4th down. He's going to be just short. It looked like Peoples-Jones had the spot there at the 38-yard line, but he's marked just short.
You know, if you're coming out short of it, turn that shoulder up and drive into the defender and try to get the first down.
Harbaugh's yelling, look at the video.
Yeah, let's look at the spot, Mike. I mean, you had one official at the top of the screen, rule forward progress beyond the line of gain, and you had the official at the bottom marked it shorts.
Line to gain is the 38-yard line. It's interesting, Terry, because the ball's in his right hand, right? And that ends up being pushed out of bounds. But where's the forward progress here?
It's the foremost point of the ball when contact was made by the defender. That's what we're looking at. That's where they should put the football. Is it definitive? Is it enough for replay to come down and say he's absolutely beyond? I'm not sure we have that down the line shot, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, the camera that's shooting that is right next to us in the booth. It's right around the 40, 41-yard line. But let's take one more peek at that, Terry, and explain the forward progress one more time as we watch.
Okay, we're gonna get marked forward progress at the foremost point of the ball when contact's made by the defender. He's gonna get him right there, and he's right there, right when he hits him. That first, that's his foremost point of progress. That's where the ball should have been spotted. It looked to me not a great angle down the line, but it looks like he had it.
And that's another point we should discuss, because you really need that down the line look, so exactly down that yard line to be definitive as a replay official to say flip the call.
No question. There's nothing we've seen that replay can reverse it so far.
This is a reverse angle that, again, is not down the 38-yard line. I don't have a camera down every yard line, so you have to look for a landmark.
Again, I think he made the first down. You can't change it if you only think he made the first down.
Well, there's no doubt that the ball should be marked a little bit forward, if not all the way to the first down line, to create a 4th and shorter, even if they don't get the first down.
Now, you might see some, especially Big Ten fans, you've seen the officials look at little monitors on the sideline there. Here in the ACC, it's the replay official who's upstairs, Tom DeJoseph, who's on the line with the game official, Jeff Flanagan. Flanagan, the referee.
To the first down.
So it will be a first down.
Yeah.
Terry?
Okay. Yeah, apparently the replay official here at the stadium felt there was enough for him to reverse it. I don't think we had the down the line shot that proved it, but he felt we did, so first down.
There was a play earlier where where replay did not stop a forward progress close call, so they do get involved there. And McCaffrey has picked up first downs, Doug, on 2 third-down passes, making his college debut here on the road, down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. He's going to keep it here, and a good athlete, McCaffrey, with the run, but it's Alohi Gilman again for the tackle at the 42-yard line.
A short tackler in the open field, coming up quickly, fills his gaps, has defended passes. McCaffrey's done a great job, though. I mean, that was a nice read on the zone where he pulled it appropriately. Positive gain on first down.
2nd and 5, pressure's coming. Nice pickup there as Dylan McCaffrey rolls the other way and completes it to Grant Perry for a first down right around midfield. So McCaffrey's picked up a couple of first downs, has this Michigan offense moving. Khalid Kareem, who was injured earlier for Notre Dame, is down back to the 35-yard line. He's being looked at as McCaffrey goes back to the sideline and Shea Patterson comes back in for Michigan.
Well, that time he had to throw the ball over a defender, made an accurate throw on the move again. 3 for 3.
So Patterson looks like he's ready to come back. Notre Dame injury and a timeout. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. By State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 1-800-STATE-FARM. By Cheez-It Grooves. Cheez-It like never before. And by the Lincoln Motor Company. Some of the best of America sending their love and support and thoughts from around the world for these 2 great institutions. 40 seconds ago, Shea Patterson ran off. He was ready to come out with the team. Notre Dame had an injury, but Patterson cramped up again. He's probably going to get an IV. Dylan McCaffrey is back in. Play action, he's looking downfield. And McCaffrey's throw is incomplete. Too tall for Sean McCune. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Great job by Julian Acquire running with McCune down the sideline. That's the first downfield throw from the pocket off of play action. He looked comfortable. Put the ball in a really good spot because he had to miss high if he missed it all. If he underthrows that ball at all, it's picked off.
It's kind of an interesting situation, Doug. If there wasn't the Notre Dame injury, Patterson would have been back out there. He might have cramped up during a play like he did before. Because of the Irish injury, circumstances happen to get McCaffrey back on the field. 2nd and 10. He throws it quickly out to Oliver Martin working the edge, and the Irish are all over there to come get him. Nick Coleman, who's playing the nickel. There's been so much going on tonight. We haven't mentioned Sean Crawford, who for the 3rd time in his Notre Dame career has a season-ending injury, an ACL, that happened in practice on Tuesday. He would have been the nickel along with Coleman. Coleman's in that role. He's done a good job tonight. And here comes a big 3rd down.
It's the first legitimate pass situation where he's going to have to stand in, may get pressure, has to read this thing out down the field now.
Empty backfield. Gets away from one tackler, not Jerry Tillery. It's not a sack, it's a gain of 2 on the run. 4th down, 8 minutes left, down 2 touchdowns. You almost have to go for it here at the Notre Dame 44, needing to get to the 38.
Dalen Hayes on the left side. Watch the spin move over here. Up the field, little spin up and under, and bang, he's right on the quarterback, flushes him out.
Mentioned he went to high school in Ann Arbor, but really was in California for most of his high school days. Played only 1 year, a couple of games at Ann Arbor Skyline High School. Michigan talked to him. He wasn't heavily recruited by the Wolverines. Playing against them tonight. Here's 4th and 7. Gotta go. Snap in time. McCaffrey's flush. Chased. Fires downfield. Notre Dame ball at the 44. Harbaugh running down the field, looking for a flag, looking for a call. Not going to get it.
Higdon's going to be on the route. It's the only option he had after scrambling. Vaughn grabs a little and a little push, a little bit of contact going on, but not enough for a call.
Irish take over with 7:14 left and a 14-point lead. Our season is starting. The golf season is finishing. PGA Tour playoffs continue. 3rd round because of Labor Day finish. Dell Technologies Championship Tiger shot a bogey-free 66. Today's tied for 21st. Team Bryson DeChambeau tee off at 11:35 Eastern. So Golf Channel have you covered starting at noon Eastern, then right here on NBC, 3 Eastern time. Webb Simpson took it deep today, 63, leading Justin Rose and Terrell Hatton by 1. Just a few weeks away from the Ryder Cup, too. What a month here on NBC. First down run and a big one for 9 yards. Tony Jones Jr. Doug, it's a 14-point Notre Dame lead. 7 minutes left. They got a first down there. That's why the clock stopped to move the chains. What's the mentality here for Chip Long, the offensive coordinator?
Stay in bounds, heat up some clock here, get in field goal range. You can ice it with a field goal.
Did you see him right there with the hold it up sign? He loves to go
work that clock.
The thing I learned about Chip, and we were doing the games last year, he came from Memphis, where it's like get the snap and go. How to use tempo to your advantage, and he just knows right now, foot off the gas pedal. Just bleed that play clock every chance we get it. First and 10. Took it all the way down. Brandon Wimbush will keep. He got a nice block from Nick Wisher. Nick Wisher, unheralded tight end. However, what did he do? What you just
went
said.
out of bounds.
Exactly.
Turn that thing up and take it in bounds. Also, you can use that tempo to the line of scrimmage to get a defense to show their hand. That doesn't mean you have to snap the ball. You can still work the play clock.
Now, where we are on the game clock, it does get restarted, but it gets restarted with a shorter play clock. So you lose about 10 or 12 seconds of what you normally would be able to bleed off.
It's where the screen game can come into play as well.
Second and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. The most reliable, experienced running back, Tony Jones Jr., has it in his hands. It's a very big third down at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, the Michigan defense has stepped it up. I mean, Notre Dame's offense scored 3 touchdowns in their first 4 possessions of the game and has had only 1 field goal in the last 5. So the defense has definitely picked it up for Michigan. They've got to keep getting the ball back to their offense because they're still down 2 scores.
Notre Dame's offense has done very little in this half. This is a big play here, both ways from the 43, 3rd and 7. Notre Dame keep it on the ground with a designed run, or do they go up top?
1-on-1 on the outside.
Wimbush throws incomplete. It was just a half step away from Claypool as the pressure came on. So after 1 first down, the Michigan defense does its job. Gets Notre Dame's offense off the field.
Claypool on the slant route against Long. Long does a good job of closing. Ball was just a little out in front. He almost pulled that in with 1 hand.
Almost tipped it to Long as well.
Long as well.
So close.
You're going to keep it alive. It's alive for everyone.
Donovan Peoples-Jones stands at the 10. Remember, he fielded one inside his own 5. It's been an outstanding punting night for Newsome after the first one. He's put the Wolverines back inside their 5 twice. They've hit this one too well. He did. Touchback, so Michigan will get it at the 20. Only 23 net yards. 5:07 to go. We haven't seen Patterson come back out of the locker room yet. So will it be McCaffrey back at quarterback when you come back? Ed McCaffrey's parents, both Dad Ed, the 3-time Super Bowl champ, and his mom Lisa, terrific athletes in college. Mentioned brother Christian, played at Stanford. Max played at Duke. And Dillon's getting his shot under fire here. Shea Patterson in, likely getting an IV. First down pass incomplete with a flag down as Drew Tranquil made contact with Zach Gentry. Here is Patterson returning to the Michigan sideline with 5:02 remaining.
Well, they're in a true 2-minute offense situation now because they're 2 scores in 5 minutes. They'd stand in there and drop back and throw the football.
Let's see what the call will be here.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty, first down.
I assume that was what it was going to be on Tranquil's in a very good game. At that will or weak side linebacker spot.
Gentry and Tranquil exchanging a little shove, little pull. I don't know about that call. I thought Tranquil had good body position.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That did not need to be called.
Yeah.
But Harbaugh was in the official's ear on the play down the field on 4th down, and maybe
Notre
bought
Dame
himself
is
a call.
challenging that the ball was tipped.
Okay, so Terry, Notre Dame's challenging that the ball was tipped, and you can go to replay. to check that out.
That is correct. That would be a reviewable play. And if replay has indisputable evidence that it was tipped, then they'll pick up the flag.
Dalen Hayes does get his arm in.
Nobody gets to the ball. They got to every other thing with McCaffrey but the ball. Yeah, the call itself downfield.
I don't see the ball tip there.
Yeah.
And I really don't think this is pass interference. I mean, they're bodying up on each other. I don't see any restriction. The ball's thrown short. You're kind of bailing out the receiver if you're going to call defensive pass interference on this one.
Terry, as we were talking about pass interference, we thought we'd see a lot of man-to-man in this game. Can you share the verbiage or the terminology that well, let's hear the call first from Jeff Flanagan.
After review, ruling is the ball was not tipped. Pass interference stands. First down. Notre Dame will lose the timeout, and they also lose the challenge for the rest of the game.
Yeah, because they challenged it. You get the one here, you lose the timeout. The verbiage that you used to talk about, okay, how do you determine if hand fighting is or is not pass interference?
You're really looking for a material restriction, a grab, a hold, an arm bar, something that restricts the receiver.
You're going to keep that term in mind as you watch football here. So there is Shea Patterson back in the game. 5 minutes to go, down 14. First down from the 35. And against the four-man rush, trying to set up the screen, getting it to Chris Evans, who has a couple of blockers here. And Evans gets out to the 48, gain of 13. Stop the clock with 4:52. Jalen Elliott, the Notre Dame tackle.
Screens are always a great way to get a 2-minute drive going. Get your rhythm going. It also offsets the pass rush, and we have another player down.
Jerry Tillery is down for Notre Dame. Again, game one, this happening to so many players here on this very hot, humid night with a lot of emotion. Very often we see the guys get ready for a game, they build up, you go through the first half, and then that 20 minutes in between at halftime, you sit, you come back out and get the body back up. And sometimes you'll see some of these guys with these big muscles cramp.
Well, we saw Shea out there 2 hours before the game, running around, having fun, running all over the place. So he started it early.
That's a really good point. You said that to me during the game. Like sometimes you have so much energy, you use too much before the game gets started because of that adrenaline that's
it's a good way to get the adrenaline out and come back down to earth for the kickoff and be ready to play. But you're exerting a lot of energy.
So Tillery out. Jason Ademiola, the freshman from Jackson, New Jersey, making his Notre Dame debut tonight, comes in as one of the defensive pass rushers. Patterson is flushed, gets it in the hands of Evans, doing a good job on this drive as a receiver, out of bounds at the 28-yard line with 4.5 to go. Michigan's moving it down the field. Still with plenty of time and 3 timeouts.
Nice job by Patterson stepping up and through, and I bet you normally he takes off and runs with this, but with the cramping issue, dump it to your tailback and let him run, and Evans is very good out of the backfield receiving.
24-yard gain for Evans. 13 on that prior pass play. From the 28. Shea Patterson out of the pocket, on the move. Tavon Coney, the tackle, gain of about 3. Under 4 minutes left.
Got to have a little more sense of urgency. You let the clock run a little too much on because you need 2 scores, not just 1.
And they're huddling here.
He's calling it off the wristband. You got to have some one-word calls in these situations where you can line up and just go.
Tick, 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 tick. 3.5 left. Wow. 4-man rush. Patterson has time. Looking downfield for somebody to come open. It's incomplete to Evans. Doug, that's one of the things you always are all over, the clock management that you have to have in key situations. No urgency on the Michigan side right now.
Not at all. He had a chance at Gentry on a wheel route there. If he stuck with it for a little bit, maybe he got a little pressure and flush. But Gentry starts on the wheel. He takes the inside route. Watch him slip underneath Tranquil. Was gone. But by then, Patterson may have been on the move. Was uncertain that it didn't appear like it might break open. So he gave up on it.
4 down territory, 3rd and 7. Dame backs out of the pressure. They'll cover with 7. Patterson directing, moving, throwing. It's caught. On the run, it's Oliver Martin to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal with 3:07 to go. The sophomore from Iowa.
Great job of keeping that play alive, directing traffic downfield.
Now Michigan jumping in quick here. Ronnie Bell, the freshman receiver at the top of the screen. From the 5, 1st and goal, Patterson. Gives to Higdon. 2 yards to the 3.
Every second counts here. You have to try to score as quickly as possible. I don't know about running the football up in there.
Oliver Martin, 6'1" receiver, comes bottom of the screen. Brian Kelly's defense hasn't allowed a touchdown here tonight. The only Michigan score on a kickoff return. Notre Dame making sure that they're all covered at the top of those 2 receivers. Here's Patterson inside Higdon in the end zone for a Michigan touchdown. Karan Higdon, who had 11 rushing touchdowns last year, gets Michigan's first offensive score of the season. And we've got a ball game with 2:18 to go.
They ran 2:49 off the clock. They did get it into the end zone. Watch your right guard, 50 here. Onwenu closes it down, creates a crease, north and south and into the end zone. But the clock ran. They could have, even in running the same plays that they ran, they probably could have shaved 30, 40 seconds.
Nordine adds the extra point. Decision time. 2:18, 3 timeouts. You turn it over to your defense. The onside kick. 7-point Notre Dame lead. Tonight's aerial coverage is being brought to you by the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil. Well, it's Michigan Notre Dame. It had to get close at some point, right? It was, you know, over the years, it's always right around 24-17, 24-23. The freshman Jake Moody on. Notre Dame expecting an onside kick. Only one Notre Dame player out of your shot there.
I would assume he's kicking it deep with the 3 timeouts.
You think he'll turn it over to the defense and shut him down?
Maybe pop it into the intermediate area or something like that.
He does try to kick it a little bit shorter. The fair catch is signaled and made. First time we see that rule in this game. The Finke fair catch allows Notre Dame to take the ball at the 25-yard line.
I believe the crowd believes it's at the 8.
I roll the ball be placed at the 25-yard line. 1st down.
It's the rule change this year, impacting that situation because you kick it deep, you're hoping to get better field position than that. So Michigan has 3 timeouts, 2:18 to go for the Irish.
So here's where your quarterback runs come into play.
And look at the play clock. This is what Terry McCauley said earlier. Notre Dame got called for, Michigan got called for a delay of game. Notre Dame's out there ready to go. The Michigan defense is not. The official is holding, waiting for Michigan's defense to get out there, and now they reset the play clock. Very interesting. Glad you were all over that because
I'd run out and snap the ball before the official gave me a chance to pump up the play clock.
And if you get a delay game on offense, you should be allowed to do it and get the defense in trouble if they're not ready. From the 25, 1st down run. It is Jafar Armstrong, gets 2 to the 27. Timeout Wolverines at 2:12. Above the rest, brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs. Brandon Wimbush doing it with the legs and the arm here tonight, though.
I'll tell you, the early in the game, hitting these one-on-one throws down the field was big for him, and then he started escaping the pocket up under and through. Really good job all night long of stepping up with that edge pressure. Here, he just made up his mind, I'm throwing his post no matter what. He was accurate down the field with the ball, which was huge early. All their touchdowns coming in that 1st half. But using his legs, I mean, that's Brandon Wimbush at his best. I mean, he takes off, he bought time on the one play forever to find Claypool in the crossing route. I mean, he's a heck of an athlete with a big-time arm. 12 to 22, it's over 50%. He had better numbers early. The second half's not quite as good.
What's the story here? 67 yards allowed by this Michigan defense in the second half. They've got to come up with 2 stops to give their offense a chance. 2nd and 8. Claypool is in motion. Wimbush is running that way where all the bodies were coming. Only a 2-yard gain. 2:06 in the timeout. So if Michigan can do the same thing, they'll get the ball back with no timeouts and about 1:50 or so remaining in the game with a chance to tie this one.
Michigan, 2nd timeout. 30-second timeout.
With the way the clock stops on first down in college football, that is plenty of time with no timeouts. If you have a minute 55 and no timeouts to go into a 2-minute drill, you've got plenty of time to get it done.
So in so many ways, Doug, it kind of comes down to maybe this play or another one. If you think about it, with the one timeout left with a minute 55 or so, you're going to be able to just take a couple of knees or run out most of the clock. So this really becomes the pressure down for both teams.
You're going to get pressure from Michigan. You're going to get man-to-man coverage if you dare throw the football. The only way you throw the football here is some type of crossing, like underneath in your pick plays or running a receiver through. Otherwise, you're doing your quarterback run thing where Wimbush is carrying the football.
I'm very surprised to see this in the air. 3rd and 6. Similar design to the last play. It's kept by Wimbush, and he will get 3 yards, but be stopped. Michigan timeout at 2 minutes left, so that big reputation Michigan defense comes up huge, and they will have a chance here to get the ball back. Michigan injury, one more injury on the field, as Tyree Cannell, the safety, went down for the Wolverines.
So you're punting the ball away with 2 minutes on the clock, so minute 50-ish, as you were saying, plenty of time to put a 2-minute drive together where the clock stops on those first downs. If you get in that 2-minute mode, Shea Patterson's going to have to run around a little bit and move. That cramping issue may kick back in.
But the Michigan offense, which was stagnant, I think would be the best word to describe it in the first half. Only 90 yards, came right out that first snap of the second half, albeit after a delay game, and took a shot down the field, tried to inject some energy into the offense. It was one of the few downfield plays we've seen. 52-yard completion to Nico Collins. And they have 205 yards, most of them through the air in this second half. Obviously, they're in comeback mode, but
it's very difficult for them to go down the field right now because of the pressure they're getting from the Notre Dame defensive line. They're beating blocks up front and getting quick pressure. So most of it's been quick rhythm passing and the ball's out. But one big play they did hit on that post route was a hard play action where he bought a little bit of time and then turned it loose.
We give both athletic training staffs a lot of credit tonight because they've been kept very busy, players cramping. And the Michigan side, they had to make the decision, took Patterson in probably to get an IV. We're not sure about that, but that certainly got him back on the field here with a chance to finish the game. Tyler Newsome, see if he comes up with a big kick. Donovan Peoples-Jones back deep to receive. Determine the field position for this potential last Michigan drive. Michigan sets up a return. Good high kick with hang time. Peoples-Jones, 53-yarder. Got it at the 14. He's got some room on that far side. Peoples-Jones gets to the far side, but could not turn the corner. And he's out of bounds at the 25, and that's where the Wolverines will get it with 1:48 to go. And here we go.
I'm willing to bet this is where Shea Patterson's at his best. Patterson loves this situation. He's an athletic guy. He's going to buy some time, probably get a first down or two with his legs, or that is his hopes.
Desmond Howard, Jeroy Roundtree, over the years have been big plays late in the Michigan-Notre Dame game. Richie Ho, the kicker for the Irish. Will somebody out there add their name to that list here tonight? First down, Patterson, pressured by Okwara, completes the pass. Grant Perry, they rule he's inbound, so the clock still turns. Michigan, no timeouts.
That's the variable, is the pressure Notre Dame has been getting, and Okwara had pressure there on a quick throw.
90 seconds left. Gotta go. 2nd and 6. 3-man rush. Patterson is being spied. Throws on the run. Complete again. It's Perry. First down. Clock stops. 44-yard line. $1:14 to go.
Great job of stepping up through and finding Perry on the move. He's moving around within the pocket to buy a little bit of time and still keeps his eyes up the field.
Change set. Clock starts. Michigan is not managing the clock well. 1 minute left. Here's Patterson throwing. Dropped. Incomplete. Zach Gentry, the tight end. Might have been better on dropping.
Absolutely. Not a horrible drop because it would have been about a 5-yard gain and the clock running. college football, when I ran a 2-minute drill, I was always trying to throw the ball a little past the chains or only on the sidelines or near first down yardage. Because if you get that first down, you get lined up and snap the ball right away. And they are delaying when they line up.
Second down. Patterson in trouble. He lost the football. It's free. The Irish pick it up. Tavon Cody out of bounds. Ball game. Notre Dame will win.
Khalid, no bigger play in this game. The joy of sealing the victory. You played a huge part. Take us through the whole play.
So this is almost a similar pressure as the sack I got on Patterson, I think, in the first quarter. But this play, we as a defense, we knew we needed to make a play. Let's seal the deal. And so, I mean, I went out there. I had some pretty good pressure on Patterson, but then Jerry finished up. And then Tavon scooped it. The only criticism Coach Lee had for us that game was to, like, in this type of situation, Tavon kept trying to run. Like, even then, I was trying to help bring Tavon down. Like, we just want the ball. Let's get to the offense hand so they can take a knee. But that's our only criticism. But, I mean, it's a great play by Tavon, scooping that ball up when we need to.
Talk a bit about Coach Lee. This is his first game as coordinator. I know everybody loves playing for him. When I tore my Achilles last year at a press conference, he came up to give me a pep talk. What's it like to play for Clark Lee?
That's probably one of the best coaches I ever played for. I mean, he truly, truly cares about his players. I mean, you can see it on the field, but also off the field. I mean, I've talked to Coach Kelly, Coach Elson a lot, but Coach Lee, I've probably talked to him probably 6 or 7 times within this whole draft process. And he truly cares about the players, not only during their time at Notre Dame, but also where they're going.
All right, Chris, the clock is winding down. As an offense, you know you're going to win it. Just talk to me about the emotions that are going through you on the field right now. Are you reliving the game? You're looking for your parents in the stands? Are you thinking about what this means for the season? What are you thinking about?
Feeling pretty good about getting the win in this game that ended up being probably closer than it should have been. But, just feeling good about the accomplishment there. Good start to the season. And I have my family there, so I'm thinking about hanging out with them after the game, thinking about what all the boys are going to be up to after the game. It's going to be a fun night. And just really good start to the season, trying to build off of it going forward.
You know, Khalid talked about how much the game meant to him growing up in Detroit. Obviously, it's Notre Dame, Michigan. You didn't get to play them year in, year out. I've been here long enough where I was here for most of the series, so I know that rivalry. But you're from Ohio. You're from the state of Ohio State. So did you have in your DNA a dislike for the maize and blue?
Well, my mom went to Ohio State, so she did, but she's not, super hard-o about it or anything. And then my oldest sister actually went to Michigan. So when she was there, I went to a couple games in the Big House and saw them play. But, I really kind of hate Ohio State and Michigan. So, I guess I had a little contempt for them coming into the game, but anybody that we line up across from, I'm not super fond of to begin with. So it's fun to beat anybody, but definitely fun to beat Michigan in a game like this.
The goal at Notre Dame is always to win the national championship. You head into every season confident that you can do that, but nothing builds confidence like success. So for both of you, and Khalid, you can start with you because, as we know, championships start with defense. What did this victory do to the mindset of this football team moving forward?
I mean, this is the game everyone's been talking about. We felt like if this is one of those momentum games where if you can get past this game, then you can just kind of ride that wave of success and of emotion and momentum on for the rest of the season. I really felt like that helped carry us out because there's moments where, like Ball State, that game should have been close, but I feel like the amount of work that we put in for Michigan, we knew that we didn't want all that work to go to waste. So looking back, we would use this game as motivation. Like, okay, like we've been here before, we've done this before, so let's do it again.
Defense continued to play very solid football throughout the year. Offense had to make some adjustments. There was a quarterback change, the rise of Ian Book. Brandon handled it. terrifically well, coming back later in the season to start a game and lead the team to victory. Offensively, how much did you grow, Chris, from this game to the end of the season?
Yeah, I think we grew a lot. Obviously you mentioned the quarterback change that changed up our game a little bit. Hit some quick passes here and there a little more often instead of handing it off. But I think by the time we got to the end of the year, we had really developed into a really good offense. We had a lot of weapons we could spread it around to with the receivers and Chase and Miles and me, and then Alizé, obviously. And then the other tight ends, Wisher having a few touchdowns this year, Cole Kmet, and then we had, Dexter and Tony and Jafar in the backfield, and then Ian and Brandon, whoever was in there making plays. So, and then obviously the O-line, giving it their all and keeping the quarterback safe and making big holes for the running backs. And, I think we just really came together as a unit. You mentioned that, obviously we wanted to win the national championship and we didn't get that done, but, up until that semifinal game, I think we're rolling pretty well.
Well, you came close. You both got your degrees. That's the other goal of every Notre Dame football player. Now you're taking the next step. So, Khalid, good luck with the Bengals. And Chris, I know undrafted free agent, but I was reading, I don't want you to give away any financials, but you got a much larger than average guaranteed check from the Niners. So they obviously have you in their plans for next season as well. And we look forward to watching both of you on Sundays, hopefully in September, but at some point in the next NFL season.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
And, folks, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game watch, and we hope you'll join us again next Saturday night when we rewatch Notre Dame's 2000 season win over Purdue. Until then, for former Irish captains Khalid Kareem and Chris Finke, I'm Jack Nolan. Thanks so much for watching tonight, and as always, go Irish.